broadcasting on the DVC to all points unknown. If you're within the sound of my voice, you're listening to Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Hello and welcome home. Thank you for joining us on episode 71 of Welcome Home, a Disney Parks and Vacation Club podcast. I'm Tom. I've got Trevor and Damon here. We got Damon back from vacation. So Damon's got a lot to talk about from vacation. Welcome back, Damon. Glad to have you back.
Thank you.
I'm sure all the Damon fans missed having you here. So, we know there's a lot of those. So they'll be happy to have you back. But, we also have a special guest on our show today. You've heard us on this show many times talk about the Disney Dads podcast. We've been talking to them for quite a while about doing a mega show. We don't have the mega show happening today, but we do have Mike from Disney Dads, on the show with us today. So Mike, if you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and about the podcast, and we'll, talk some Disney topics.
Yeah, guys, thanks for having me. Yeah, unfortunately, my other two co-hosts couldn't make it today. Jason is at the Packers game today. I think they're playing the Bears, and he lives in Wisconsin, and he's a season ticket holder, so he couldn't make it to the game today. I think they had back-to-back games, and he's going to the Packers game today. And Justin, my other host, he's down in Disney. I mean, where else would you rather be? I mean, so I don't blame him. He's down there for everything very merry, and doing a little Universal as well too. We don't talk about that place that much, but he is a pass holder there, so he is doing some Universal time. But listen, we're three guys, much like you guys, and we're three dads who share our love for Disney. And we have a show.
Who's who though? Who matches up? Who do we match up with? Who's Tom? Who's the Tom of the show? Who's the Trevor and who's the Damon?
I would definitely say that Tom is definitely the Justin of the group. I would say that I think Damon, you and I quite alike, and Trevor is definitely more of the Jason. So I think I think that would be those would be our prom dates.
There we go. I like that.
Our doppelgangers are.
Yeah. I'll go with that. But we're a podcast and we're a show that's a lot about positivity. Our opening statement pretty much says what I can say. We're a show that's a little bit about us, a lot about Disney and fun for the whole family. And we're a G-rated show. You can throw us on in the car and put the kids in, and we try and keep a very positive outlook. Disney's a very positive place. And we try and bring that through to you guys and on our Facebook page as well too.
And that's why we like them, because I think that we definitely feel the same way about our show. And Tom, every once in a while, has to remind me I'm not allowed to say certain words. They're never usually too bad. He'll bleep them out. But I would agree. I think there needs to be a lot of positivity. And I think that it's always great to have shows like that. And again, it's one of my favorite podcasts, especially, about Disney. So glad to have Mike, and hopefully in the future we'll have them all.
Yeah, and that's actually the thing that really strikes me about your podcast is listening to it is how positive you guys are, because there are a lot of podcasts out there that are negative about everything. I don't even know why they're doing a Disney podcast if they hate everything about Disney and that's all they talk about, right? So
yeah, and we'll hold Disney's feet to the fire. I mean, listen, there are plenty of times that things go wrong. Everybody's had that vacation where you just listen, they messed up or whatever. But the good thing about it is they always try and do it better, and they always try and help you out. And they always try and go the extra mile when something doesn't go right. And is every vacation perfect? No, but none of us are. And we try and make sure that, there's so much negativity that goes on in your life on a regular day. We all have Disney as our vacation and our escape. And I think that's the important part, is to bring that through. And, if you're sitting in your car and you're having a bad day, throw on a podcast and kind of, drift away and, daydream a little bit and put yourself in a better mood.
While still paying attention to the road.
Oh,
in case you're driving.
Well, unless you're driving a Tesla,
There you go. There you go. So Tom, we're going to do it a little bit different, right? Since we have Mike for a few minutes. This will actually come out before the wait list. So Mike joined us for the wait list as well. So we have him for a few minutes.
We should announce that we did a wait list. Nobody knows that we did it, right?
Well, yeah, our group knows, but again.
Guys, we did a wait list.
We did a wait list.
Thanks, Trevor. That was.
You're welcome.
With all the pomp and circumstance you expect from the show.
So while we have Mike for a little bit, we're going to actually skip around how we normally would do, and I will talk about my trip a little bit later. So I think what we're going to go to, Tom, right, is the announcements?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's talk about these announcements. So there was, and you saw this on our Facebook page, and I don't know where I was when I was posting all these things, but all of a sudden, every once in a while, and I feel like Disney was maybe trying to keep all the focus on Rise of the Resistance and maybe announce all these big things all at once just to get them out of the way. But like, a couple weeks ago, not even a couple weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago now, they just on a Friday night just dumped all these news pieces about when everything's opening. So we've got the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser. Now we know that's opening in 2021. We know that Minnie and Mickey's Runaway Railway is now slated to open on March 4th, 2020. You might remember that was delayed from I believe spring of this year. This should have already been open, but it did get delayed. But that's okay. We'll wait for them to perfect the thing. Then we have the Roundup Rodeo Barbecue, which is the new barbecue restaurant they're going to be putting in Toy Story Land. That's now going to open sometime in 2020. They gave themselves a wide berth on that one. For however, and I don't even think they started building on that. I've seen some walls going up, some pictures of those, but I haven't seen much other than that. But then the Beauty and the Beast sing-along, Canada Far and Wide, and Awesome Planet, all debut at Epcot on January 17th next year. Something we've talked about on this show before. We speculated for a while about who the voices will be for the Canada show. And we do have an answer to that. And the answer is, it's actually Catherine O'Hara and Eugene Levy, who I both really like. I think that's a good choice, and I will have to go to our Canadian correspondent to make sure that those are approved narrators for the Canada Pavilion. But then we also, two more things on here. Remy's Ratatouille Adventure planned to open summer 2020. Again, they're giving themselves a little bit of leeway there. So you would like to think that they'll have it open for the July 4th, holiday, but who knows? And then, something we speculated on many episodes ago, months and months ago, we talked about, Disney's DuckTales taking over the World Showcase, taking over, the Agent P game, at Epcot. And it's sure enough, that's what's happening.
Does Disney listen to us?
I don't think they listen to us, but,
Okay.
But anyway, so I want to know what you guys, think of these things. There's a lot of stuff here.
You gotta start with the Star Cruiser. Because I think that's the most important. I am so excited about it. It's funny though. 2021 is not that far away. I mean, I got to start saving now. Because that's going to be just straight up money. There's not going to be points for that. Oh. I did like a lot of the pictures that they're showing. I'm really interested. But, it's funny. One of the things that kind of cropped up in my mind is, is it going to be kind of weird because there's going to really be no outside interaction when you're in the hotel? It's all going to be space in the windows. Is that going to be weird? Are people going to freak out?
Claustrophobic? Yeah.
Yeah. Are people going to freak out? Cruise ships don't bother me, so I don't think I'll have a problem with it. But are people going to freak out like some people don't like on the cruise ships? I don't know. You can't leave really. So that was the first question I had. And then the second question is they talked about being able to go into Star Wars Land. I still think that that's going to be something that's going to be outside of regular hours. I truly think that for the amount of money that you're paying is that you will have your own time in Star Wars Land. That's my opinion.
So, yeah, I guess where I am, I'm thinking about the whole idea of being in space for a couple of days. You make a good point about, not seeing daylight for that amount of time. I didn't actually really think about that up until now, but I come from a climate where this time of year, we get maybe 8 hours of daylight, which is, I go to work and come home and it's dark. So I don't know. I don't know how much that will have an effect on people. Like you said, yeah, I guess
I don't think it's the daylight, Trevor. I just think it's the weirdness of feeling like you're truly in space.
Well, but yeah, you're right. It's also, you're on a ship. You don't have any, I guess the difference between that and a cruise ship is that on a cruise ship, you can go out on the deck and you have the whole ocean there. This is I guess it could be seen as a little more claustrophobic.
I could see that. I could see it being claustrophobic, but I mean, I guess if you're making daily trips out of it and going into Galaxy's Edge, I guess it's not too bad, right?
Which I'm kind of hoping, but I don't know, can they do that every day? Because you're talking about then, they're going to run these back to back is my guess, right? To make the money that they need to make for such an extravagant experience. I don't know. Are they going to be able to get you an hour? Will it maybe be in the morning? You know what I mean? How will they get those hours in the park by yourself?
I feel like it's more mysterious and fun at night, right?
Yeah, but you're talking about Hollywood studios then shutting down, cause me, I'll be the first to complain if they're trying to do this at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, that's true. Mike, are you a Star Wars guy?
I am beyond a Star Wars fan. that's my religion. I love Star Wars. I love everything Star Wars. I mean, that is, anybody who's ever heard me talk about it before, I've actually said that I don't care what amount of money it's going to cost. My 50th birthday is coming up in a few years, and I'm retiring from the city. I have 20 years of service right now, and I'm retiring in a couple more years. So I told my wife, listen, I don't want a retirement party. I don't want a big family shindig thing. All I want is to spend a few days from my retirement, my 50th birthday, in that hotel. So that's going to be, and you know what? She's going to have to go along with the ride. So there are certain things we do for the, that I've done for the sacrifice of my marriage. She's going to have to put up with, living like a Star Wars person for a few days.
So here's an interesting thing, Mike. So I told my wife, my 50th is coming up in a few years. I'm going when it comes out, though. If I can get in, I'm going. But that being said, is it acceptable to go with somebody else? Is it acceptable to go with another woman that you're friendly with to the Star Wars hotel because your wife doesn't want to go?
Maybe in a galaxy far, far away, that's okay. In my household, that's not going to fly.
My wife is like, I really don't want to go. And I was like, okay, cause I'm going. And the problem is, right, it comes a little bit of a cost issue if we're talking about by the room, right? To go as one person. It just seems a little weird. Plus, who are you talking to about it then? That's no fun either.
Oh, well, you have to share the experience with somebody. I can't see doing it. I mean, I'd love to go on a solo trip, just doing Disney by myself, which I'm going to be doing in May next year. But how do you not experience that with somebody, especially somebody with a love of Star Wars? And that's going to be my hardest part, is doing it with her, who's not completely on board with all of the Star Wars stuff.
Yeah. If she messes up your experience, you might have some problems. You might have to, throw her in the Star Wars brig.
She's a good egg. She's good. She'll play along.
Maybe we need to set up a Facebook group or something for matching Star Wars fans.
Disney dating for the hotel?
Yeah, for the Star Wars hotel.
Yeah, specifically for that.
What I'm saying is it's still got to be somebody that and that your wife approves of. Like the people we vacation with all the time, the husband on the other side is not so involved in Star Wars, but the wife is. I think that would be acceptable. We've been friends for 20 years. I don't think I could go with some random person that I meet on a Facebook group. That would be a little tough.
That would be worse. You could do a guy's trip though. That's acceptable. A guy's trip would be acceptable.
Yeah, that is true. I don't really like traveling with other guys. I'm sorry to say. I don't.
As a reminder to our listeners, meet up October 9th. I'm kidding.
Hey, here's the thing. I don't do a lot of guy sort of things. I don't like to just go hang out, right? And I also don't really like to drink. So those are guy things.
Well, then we should hang out because I don't drink either.
There we go.
There you go. Yeah, that's yeah.
So Mike, can you really wait that long though? Really? You're not amped to go the first year?
No, because I want them to work all the bugs out. I can wait a couple years. I mean, listen, I have 4 more years to go. So if it opens in 2021, it's only a year or two after that. So I think I can wait. And I think the first year or two getting in is going to be almost impossible, and I want to kind of go when I want to go. So I think the timing is going to work out perfectly.
So I will say that you've been to Universal or you have not been to Universal?
Oh, I have been, yes.
Okay, so we went to the opening, and again, this was unbeknownst to us, for Forbidden Journey. We were there. Anyway, the long and short of it is that we were there when they weren't letting a lot of people that were taller or larger on the ride because you were so close to all the props. And then they changed that and the ride pulled back a few feet, and it's just not the same ride. So while I kind of agree with you about some of the kinks and the bugs, I think sometimes, especially during things like this, is that sometimes in the beginning, there's some stuff that they'll never do again because they're like, ooh, that's not really good, even though it was awesome. Kind of like the Harry Potter ride until people ruined it by touching the Dementors, right? Keep your hands to yourself. We would have been fine. So I'm trying to go in the beginning, and then that's my take on it. But yes, I believe it will be very difficult. I'm hoping to call in some Disney favors though. Hopefully. That's where I'm saving all my favors for.
I was going to say, are you going to try to go day one, or are you going to try to get media access? You're going to try to go there. If
there's media access to that, I will definitely make a trip, but I would like to experience outside of media. As I've said before, my feeling on general media events. So I would like to experience outside of that, but I'd like to do it, closer to the actual opening rather than waiting a few years. I would like to go back again, but I would like to do it as quickly as possible.
Nice. So that's Mike. You mentioned on the wait list you have Jack Skellington tattoo. You have any Star Wars tattoos that you should tell us about? Do you have any cool Star Wars ones? Since you love that one.
I've been waiting for the perfect one, and my daughter, who is a fantastic artist, doesn't like to draw, but I have her drawing me up a tattoo as we speak, and it's more personal because she's drawing it up. So I kind of gave her some images that I wanted, and I told her to put them together, and that's going to be my next one. So I have quite a few Disney tattoos. Star Wars isn't one of them just yet. I've been kind of waiting for the perfect one, and I have my eldest daughter is drawing me something as we speak.
The Baby
awesome.
Yoda.
No, not Baby Yoda. Not Baby Yoda. I haven't jumped on that bandwagon yet.
Sorry, I'm kidding with you, Mike.
Okay, well,
You know what? I like the Baby Yoda better than the Porgs. So
There you go.
fair.
I could be on board with that.
so I guess the important question: light side or dark side?
dark side, always dark side.
See, it doesn't even matter to me. I could care less. I think the experience is going to be so interesting. I don't even care.
Yeah, I agree. I think either way is going to be fun, right?
Like, what is there going to be? Like, what do you think they're going to be able to do though? Like, I know that there's going to be like a story, but see, here's the other thing. Again, like, is it kids? Like, kids are going to be involved? Like, is that going to, I don't know.
I don't know.
Should there be an adult only Star Wars Starcruiser? Like, they kind of flip flop between them, like family one, adult only, family one, adult.
You mean where like Han shoots people?
Well, just where it's a little grittier and you don't have young Jedi taking up all the training time on the lightsaber area.
I get what you're saying. I mean, we've seen pictures of like kids areas, so
Yeah.
maybe it's going to be like,
awesome
you
to
know,
be a
some of those
gritty
cruise
one?
ships where it's like the kids are just, you know, in the control room and then the adults are doing the adult things.
A gritty Galactic Starcruiser twice a year. I'm on board.
Like a special event where it's just
Special
gritty.
event.
Yeah.
Just gritty. Yeah.
I mean, you know, I think some people would be on board for that.
Double the price.
Double the price.
Double the price.
You gotta
I
sign
mean,
waivers.
you got to pay premium.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Coach.
No waivers needed. No waivers needed. It's not a haunted house in, you know, the backwoods.
Kentucky.
What are you trying to say about Kentucky, Tom?
Isn't that where that haunted house was, or was it? I don't remember.
I don't believe so, but
I don't remember where it was, but
Yeah, I heard those episodes about your haunted houses. You got quite a few you guys were talking about.
oh yeah, I'd love to go. But there's some good ones in New York, I hear too. There's some good ones in New York, I hear. So I'm going to start making that my thing. Just traveling to haunted houses around the country. That will be my new thing.
Yeah, some of those haunted houses weren't meant to be.
Yeah, that is true too.
So what else are you guys psyched for on this? Because I know I've said this many times. I'm really excited about Runaway Railway. I've seen some previews of that already, and it's really cool.
I just don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I just don't know.
Do you like the new Mickey Mouse shorts?
No.
See, I think that's where
At all.
Yeah.
I hate them. Hate would be a good word I would use for them. Like, I turn them off. They're too Ren and Stimpy for me. That is not Disney for me.
See, and I love them. And that's why I'm excited for this ride, is because it's just the continuation of all those little shows. And yeah, I'm also excited because, everything I've seen about the technology around it is like the trackless ride systems. My brother actually got to experience one of the trackless ride systems in Tokyo Disney, and he said it was amazing. It was actually the Winnie the Pooh's Honey Hunt.
Pooh's Honey Hunt. Yeah.
Yeah. And, he thought it was the greatest thing. So I'm just excited to see how, you know, I guess regardless of the subject matter, how the ride itself
I would agree with that. Like, I do like technology. I'm just not, like I said, the shorts don't do it for me. So
I think the idea of it and just seeing some of the renderings of it, I like the idea that it starts off as one train and then all of the cars just at some point separate and go all sorts of crazy ways. I love that. I think it also adds to the rewritability of it too, right? Because, and I've heard this about Rise of the Resistance too, that every vehicle is basically a different ride and they go different places and do different things. So, it makes it so you want to keep riding it. But I also saw that they gave a preview to the media right before the Rise of the Resistance event where they were showing an effect, it's in like the old screening room where, a great movie ride was, you know, where you'd stand there and you'd watch the movie and everything. But apparently there's some sort of effect that happens where like a puff of smoke comes up and the screen splits in half, and that's where you walk through. And apparently it really impressed a lot of the media members. And I love that kind of stuff. Like I'll go to that Bell show, which is escaping me at the moment what the name of it is, but I'll go on that just for the effect of the mirror turning into the doors, because it's so cool to just watch that if you've never seen that before. So I'm all for like that kind of cool stuff that they do.
I don't think I've seen that before.
Oh, you need to do it, man. Just I'll tell you.
I've seen the YouTube of it.
Oh yeah, check out a YouTube of it, because honestly,
what park is it in?
It's in Magic Kingdom. It's right in the new Fantasyland.
Bell's Story Time or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's near Ariel's Grotto, isn't it? It's near that area?
Yeah, it's right next to that, right? It's that whole area that has, the Beauty and the Beast stuff. And
so it's worth it just for that effect?
It's worth it for a couple of the effects. The Lumiere that's in there, the animatronic that's in there is pretty fantastic. The effect of the mirror turning into a door. I mean, the first time you go in there, you're just in a room that it's like the Haunted Mansion. You're in a room and you're like, well, where are we going to go in this room? We just walked in here, from the only door that's in the room. And then you're looking at this mirror, and this mirror magically turns into a door. It's pretty darn cool. And I've watched it happen many times and been like, I feel like I should be able to figure out how this works, and I just can't. I don't understand what they're doing here. And just the animatronics they have built into it are cool. And it's, it's a cute show for my daughter likes it, and it's a cute show for the younger kids. But some of the technology they threw into that show is amazing. So, have none of you guys done that? Am I the only one?
I have a 12-year-old boy.
I have two daughters. I've done it.
Oh, you've done, Mike, right? Isn't it amazing when the door it turns into a door?
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
Yep.
Very cool.
So, go ahead, Damon. Sorry.
No, I was just saying, I have a daughter too, and I just have never done it, so it's got to be on the list, I guess, for next time. I'll tag it on the list.
I feel like it's one of those rides. It's like Star Tours, where Star Tours sometimes has like a 5-minute line, and then other times has like an hour line. It's kind of the same way, where sometimes it'll be dead, other times it'll be busy. So,
gotcha.
Yeah. And it's good for, you have a younger daughter, so there's a lot of participation with the kids. Like the kids get up and they play different roles in the story, which is cool too. So,
okay. Yeah, I'll add that to the list then.
So that was a tangent. I don't even remember what we were just talking about.
Now we're talking about barbecue.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Trevor, were you going to say something? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was going to ask, do we want to talk about the barbecue, or do we want to talk about all the stuff going on at Epcot next?
Let's talk about that.
I want to know what you think of the narrators for the new Canada video.
So Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara. So obviously Catherine O'Hara is the mom from Home Alone. So, that's good movie. As far as the two of them goes, that they actually both star on a show. So it's called Schitt's Creek. It's called SCHITT. So
you're going to make me bleep this now, Trevor?
No.
You better bleep that. You bleeped my other one.
Yeah.
So it is a show that is on Canadian television. It stars the both of them. They are wonderful comedians. It's a really good show if you ever get a chance to watch it. I guess I won't say the title again. You'll have to.
I'm going to have to cut this out now, Trevor.
Yeah, but that's not my fault. They're the ones who named the show, kind of deliberately, but
I know.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, they've been, like, I grew up watching them on various shows. That there was another, show called, SCTV, or Second City TV, that there was I know there was a US version, but, they were very prevalent on the Canadian version, along with, John Candy and, Martin Short and, yeah, other famous Canadian actors. So, I mean, yeah, to me, it's like, oh yeah, they're Canadian. They're like, they're representing our country. And I think they will do really well at it.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't go younger Canadian, that like, some of the kids would know. But then again, this isn't exactly like a kid centric thing, right? This is something the parents drag the kids to go see, right? So.
Yeah. And I think, I think they want to take actors that they're, even younger kids, they do know who those actors are. Like, I guess my generation, we grew up seeing those, and we're kind of saying to our kids now, as they get old enough that they can watch some of that stuff. Like I've explained to my kid, oh yeah, Catherine O'Hara, she's, the mom on Home Alone, she's been in these other movies, he knows who John Candy is. He doesn't watch like a ton of John Candy's stuff, but, he's aware of these Canadian actors, I guess, that we see as important.
That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's good. I'm on our next trip, I'm looking forward to seeing how that movie plays out, because honestly, I saw the Martin Short one a long time ago, and I haven't been back in there to watch it again since, because I didn't really feel the need to, because I can see it every day. So
because you live there.
Yeah. But I want to see their version now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I know we have to lose Mike in a few minutes here. I know Mike's got to go. So Mike, was there anything on this list of things that we just talked about that you were really interested or wanted to talk about before we have to let you go?
I'm interested in the barbecue. I think when Toy Story Land opened up, I think they missed the mark when it came to adding a sit down restaurant. I think Hollywood Studios kind of lacks in that. I'm surprised. I don't know if you guys are also, no character dining at that restaurant. I mean, what an opportunity to have, some of Woody and his pals there.
Big cleaning bill with all the barbecue though, right?
Barbecue handprints on Woody.
Yeah. Could you imagine? Oh, we lost another Woody costume. It's interesting, Mike, because again, Tom and myself are from New Jersey. I was from northern Jersey outside of the city. And, once we moved to North Carolina, like barbecue just doesn't do it for me anymore. Cause you get enough of it at home. It would be like when we lived in Jersey, and it would be like going to eat pizza down in Disney. So I'm not as excited as I can understand that you guys would be.
I'm just excited to have another place to eat, just to kind of, especially with I think the dining choices in Hollywood Studios are kind of limited. You have the Hollywood and Vine, you have the 50s prime time, but Mama Melrose is good, but I feel like it's nice that they're adding a sit-down restaurant. I guess it's going to be, where the bathrooms are and where the aliens flying saucer spin is. I think it's going to be over in that area, right? I mean, that's the only thing.
I thought it was right at the entrance. I thought it was like right to the right of the entrance where they're.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be back between Galaxy's Edge and the bathrooms over in that area. I mean, I'm not sure, but I kind of figured they had a little bit of real estate to put a restaurant over there.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I thought I saw them starting to do construction right at the entrance, right by the giant, I was just going to say the giant Woody statue. But, since we're, making this a PG-13 show today, Trevor.
I'm sorry.
I know.
Canadian television.
I'm kidding. I think that's where I think that's where I've seen construction photos is right when you walk into the land. But I agree with you. I think it was sorely needed, right? A lot of the complaints about that land were lack of air conditioning and lack of shade. And that's because they don't really have any places that you go into, right? Everything's kind of outdoors there. So I think this will help.
Have you been able to eat at Woody's Lunchbox yet?
I have. It was good. I liked it.
I did not get a chance to go.
Every time we went there, it was like, trying to knock somebody out for a table. It was terrible.
Oh yeah. They don't have many tables. Yeah.
Oh my God. And we wanted to eat. It was the summertime. It was crowded. It was when it first opened up. And I said, there's a lot of stuff on this menu I really want to try, but it was like the Hunger Games trying to get a table.
Yeah. That area was
some good
packed.
Stuff there. Go ahead. Sorry, Damon.
I was just saying that area was packed, far more packed than I think a lot of people realize.
Yeah. Because it's not a huge area, that's why, right?
Well, it's also, when you think about it, listen, I'm going to say that there's probably a bigger audience for the people that are going to Disney for Toy Story than there is for a lot of different IPs. And, then you get all those people get crowded in there because all their kids want to go, or the adults or whoever, that wants to go. It's not a large enough place for the amount of people. I think they underestimated that a little bit.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think, Trevor, do you want to say something real quick? We got to let Mike go, but do you want to say something really quick before we...
I was actually just going to reinforce Mike's statement about the food choices there. As I realized on our last couple of trips, we just default to Primetime 50s Diner because, there isn't really a lot of options around there. So hopefully this barbecue place turns out to be, at least another choice that I'll consider because, I don't really want to go anywhere else in Hollywood Studios at the moment.
Yeah, I'm figuring it's probably going to be similar to Flame Tree, I guess, over in Animal Kingdom. A similar kind of menu, similar kind of ambiance and feel. I'm assuming.
I'm down with that.
And Flame Tree is excellent. So Flame Tree's, I think Flame Tree's excellent. We always like to stop at Flame Tree because it is really good barbecue, minus the super aggressive birds that are there that will jump on your table and eat your food. But that's a whole nother story. So Mike, I'm assuming we have to let you go, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, my daughter she's working tonight at a cheerleading competition, and she's a coach, and I got to
wait. Not at Disney? Why is she not at Disney? That's where all the cheerleaders
May.
are, right?
We'll be there in May, as a matter
okay.
of fact. May is going to be our trip down there. I'm doing something different. She's going to be down there from a Wednesday to a Sunday. I'm actually going to go down the Monday before and spend a couple of days by myself, and then wait for the wife and kids to come down. I've always wanted to do a solo trip, and I've always felt guilty about kind of doing it on my own. So I figured, you know what? If I do it for a couple of days and I know I'll see the family in a couple of days, I won't feel so bad about it. So I just kind of want to go walk around, spend my own time, sit on a bench, drink a cup of coffee, kind of people watch a little bit, and kind of do things at my own pace, not having the entire family in tow. So have you guys ever done a solo trip?
I have not.
I would love to. I would absolutely love to, because I like to wander. I like to explore. And that, I feel like you can't always do that with a bigger group,
Yeah, no.
I feel so guilty when the kids aren't around. If I go off and do something on my own. So if I know they're coming down in a couple of days, you know what? I'm entitled to a couple of days by myself. So I'll just kind of, relish the moment and kind of hang out for a few days.
Oh, I think that would be great. So, well, thank you to Mike for joining us on this show as well. It's great to have you. Like I said, would love to have the rest of your team and talk to them, and we will get a super huge episode with everyone.
Megacast.
Yeah. I mean, definitely things to come, unfortunately, like I said, just trying to plan 6 guy schedule all at once can be tough. You know how that goes.
It's tough for just 3 guys, so we understand.
So definitely on behalf of myself and my other 2 hosts, Jason and Justin, thank you so much for having me on. First of many shows, you guys come on with us and vice versa. And, you guys keep up the good work, because we really enjoy your podcast. And, like we say at the end of our show, keep it Disney.
Yeah.
Like it. All right. It was great having Mike on the show, huh? That was fun.
That was definitely fun.
Oh, yeah.
It was definitely fun.
Wish we could have had him longer, but that's okay. We got him for a wait list, and we got him for part of our regular episode, so it's cool.
And like I said, I think that we'll interact with them more often. They are great, so.
For sure.
All right, so what do we have? We're on to Remy's? Wait,
anything else you want to talk about? We want to talk about Remy's Ratatouille adventure. So this is kind of killing me, because I want to go next year once all this stuff is open. I want to do the space restaurant. I want to do Ratatouille. I want to do
everything's not going to ever be open. I look at Tron now. When we were there and I looked at Tron, I'm like, oh, Tron. Oh my goodness,
I want
Tron
so bad. I've wanted Tron since I was 19 years old.
Yes. Yeah. So
I know, but I'm talking about all the stuff that opens in 2020. I feel like if I go maybe summertime again, maybe go August, and then most of the stuff
what's so nice though is going back to Disney and just having 1 or 2 things to do rather than 30 or none.
I mean, this would be a lot of things to do, right? Because I got to do Rise of the Resistance, got to do Ratatouille.
But by the next time you go after that, it'll be the same thing. I feel like if you can have 3 new things to do, that's a perfect thing.
Yeah.
See, here's the dilemma as DVC owners, right? Is that you don't have to do it all on the next trip.
That's true.
So it's hard because part of you is same thing is, I'm looking at, there's at least 3 or 4 new rides opening that I want to go to. There's new restaurants. There's all kinds of new stuff. But, the danger is, if you plan an entire trip around just doing these new things, you end up in a position where you end up, spending more time in lines and doing a lot of things that, it's the popular thing to do, which is great. You're getting to experience those things, but I feel that at the end of the trip, you actually come back, less happy because that time spent, forcing yourself into the newest hype thing ends up making for a less enjoyable trip. You know what I mean?
I think it depends on what else you feel that you need to do. Listen, I have so many things to talk about on our trip. Trevor, I will definitely get back into this. So this is a discussion that changed. My trip got totally changed. No, let's finish what we have here. So let's talk about DuckTales real quick. So I'm super excited that that's going to be replacing H&P. My kids are not Phineas and Ferb fans. I mean, even my daughter, who's a huge, cartoon fan, not a fan. So I think this will be something that, we'll definitely do once that opens at Epcot for sure. And I think it brings a lot more people in being DuckTales. I don't know. I think Disney's done a really good job at really pushing that show. And it's a good show to boot.
I like both, and I agree. I'm totally okay with Phineas and Ferb going away and DuckTales coming in. That the funny thing about Phineas and Ferb, so little bit on the personal side for me, it actually got me through kind of a dark spot in my life. So I appreciate the show because it was something that I really enjoyed and it, like I said, it helped me, but I'm also willing to say, it doesn't need to be in the park and, it does have its place and it doesn't have to be, part of that World Showcase thing forever.
So did you enjoy the crossover with Milo? Again, Milo is just such an underrated show, I'm going to tell you.
I did. I mean, I really enjoyed it. The only criticism I would give of it is that at some points it did feel like they were just doing fan service to Phineas and Ferb and not being too creative with it. Like they were just kind of rehashing the jokes.
Because I'm not a big fan of that show, but I am a Milo fan, so that I can understand that though for sure.
Yeah, I mean I like them both. There'll definitely still be stuff that I watch years from now, but I also don't think it needs to be in the parks necessarily right now.
Well, and this makes it a little more relevant, right? This is no offense to Phineas and Ferb, but how long ago did that show end? Is that show still going on?
Years ago.
Years ago, right?
There was a new crossover though with Milo Murphy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of kids still know that? I mean, or is it, really not as relevant as
my kids don't like it. So, right, if you're talking target audience, at least my kids don't have an interest.
Yeah, I mean, my kid, he's still very well aware of it. He grew up watching it. A lot of his kids know who Perry the Platypus is and stuff. So, yeah, it definitely had its place, but it's kind of on that. It's fading out of popular culture right now.
So it's a good refresh, right? I mean, it's a good thing for them to do.
It's a good refresh.
Okay. So anything else in this that you guys want to talk about? I mean, I think, the thing I'm excited about though too is the Railway and Ratatouille adventure. These are all things that I can take my daughter on to, which I'm a fan of.
That's
right?
true. Cause it's interesting. Like you say that though, because you're right. Cause then you got Galaxy and Tron, which are not going to be sort of things that you're going to take your daughter on.
Not for now anyway. I mean, when she's a couple years older for sure.
I mean, she'll have to go on with a different family, but yes.
Don't worry. I watched episode 6 of the Imagineering series and they were showing the Tron coaster and I looked at my wife and I said, you're going to have a lot of fun on that once it opens. I'll watch from the bottom. I'll wave as you're going through the canopy.
I'm trying to convince my wife to ride it. I think she would like it, but she's like, no, I don't do roller coasters and it makes me sad.
That's why I have my wife. She does these things. So
yeah, it's funny. My daughter does not love roller coasters, but she likes Rock and Roller Coaster, but will not do Tower of Terror. So
that's so crazy because I think Rock and Roller Coaster is more
really.
Yeah, I think there's more to it than Tower of Terror for sure. But I guess atmosphere does play in as well.
True.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we hit everything we need to on these things, right? And we can go back to the very beginning of our of our show and talk about Damon's trip. We want to hear all about your trip. We know you were taking notes and sending us messages and meeting fans and going on rides with people and
oh my goodness, it's funny. I have 3 pages of notes. As crazy as that sounds,
crazy.
It's crazy. I tried to do that this time so I would have a better understanding because it has been a little while and there are definitely some things that I've forgotten about, unfortunately. The one thing I do want to say though, and this is unfortunate that I even have to go there, but there were a lot of people complaining about the electric, vehicles for the handicap and the DAS passes there. And I just want to say, it's just unfortunate. I was privy to a conversation on the bus where people were complaining about a fellow who had, gotten off his wheelchair, the electric ride vehicle and was kind of helping the bus driver strap it in. And they thought that was the most ridiculous thing ever. It is not always something that you can see. And I just want people to be mindful of that. I never have a problem. Yes, sometimes it stinks waiting for them. I get it. But at the end of the day, you never know what somebody's going through. And I think that was the one thing for me. And, it was unfortunate. It was on the first day. So, we got past it. But, I think people just need to understand a little bit better about that. And I think it's just something worth mentioning, when you can.
Can I add to that a little bit?
Of course you can. Of course.
So we have our own story where we actually ran into a couple, not on this trip, but on the last trip, that the wife had an ECV, and she was younger than us. Like, she was in her 20s. And when we actually sat and talked with her about it, she looked fine. But it turned out that she had seizures. And the reason she had the ECV was because, most of the time she'd be okay. But if she had a seizure, she didn't want to be in a position where, she's falling down in the middle of Disney and hurting herself. So even though most of the time she was fine, and she said, she got those looks a lot of the time, there was something underneath that was, pretty darn serious. So you're right. Be aware that, it's not always obvious why these people have those things.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate because there probably are, a couple people out there that take advantage of the system, and that's why some people are skeptical, but it's, most of the time, and just because somebody can get off the chair for a couple seconds doesn't mean that they can be off it for, an hour or the 10 hours you're at a Disney park,
Of course.
Yeah.
And my mom's disabled, and we go through that a lot too, right? Like, sometimes she'll actually need to walk. So it's very difficult to try to explain that to somebody. Yes, she needs that vehicle. Has some major problems, but every once in a while she'll also need to walk. So it becomes difficult. But again, I don't want to sadden my trip because I did have a great trip, but I think that's something that we should definitely, be aware of. And, if people could do a better job, I think it would be great to keep everyone's spirits up at Disney. So anyway, getting to the good stuff, the Skyliner, I loved it.
It's great, right?
Yes.
I loved it. Like, I can't even say how much I loved it. And the first day we just rode it just to ride it. Like, we went to Epcot on Thanksgiving and we rode it. We took the bus to Hollywood Studios just so we could ride it. And I there's nothing bad to say about it. It was great. It was fast. It was awesome.
So you didn't have to do a solo, because I remember you said you might have had to do it solo because nobody else wanted to do it, but everybody in your party did it and they liked it.
No, so the other people we travel with were not there yet. They came late Thanksgiving Day, so we did not see them till the day after Thanksgiving. So we did that by ourselves. But it was great. Like I said, we had a really fun time. We, rode by ourselves. There's 5 of us. We rode it a few times during the trip, but the first time was really nice. And I can't say enough about how comfortable it was. And we had phenomenal weather. That's just funny. We talked about it. It was in the 80s when we were there, and it didn't rain. It was absolutely unheard of. It was absolutely wonderful. So that was one thing. The other thing that we had kind of went back and forth about was getting a PhotoPass, which we ended up doing. And I would also mention that, I know people don't necessarily always like to spend the money on PhotoPass, but we got one phenomenal picture that I'll probably have for, put up in the house with me, and the kids and my wife, probably for the rest of our lives. And I think that when you start to factor that into the price, maybe not every trip you're going to get that, but really having just one of them that you enjoy that picture so much. Like, think about 10 years from now, 20 years from now, like, that money's irrelevant, in terms of that picture. So I think it's just something that everyone should kind of take into account as they, go through that, you'll get that picture and maybe it doesn't mean $200 to you right now. I guarantee you when you're an empty nester, it will mean $200 to you. So keep that in mind as well. Like I said, we got some great pictures, like some pictures that are I just absolutely love. Okay. So this trip was far different for us. I did not get up early, not one day. I think the earliest we went to the park was like 11.
Whoa.
And yeah.
Oh, that's like really late. That was like my last trip with my family, going super late. Yeah.
Yes, it was absolutely great. We stayed up for a lot of the late shows and things like that. I'm just like all over the place here. I don't necessarily know exactly what I want to talk about. So I'm just going down my list, and I apologize, for just kind of being all over the place. The only other thing I would mention in terms of, being at the park during flu season, the cough etiquette was horrible. Like, it was horrible. Like, there was literally a lady that I felt like she coughed in my face. Like, maybe she didn't, but like, it felt that way. And I was like, wow, really? I think there should be signs like of people coughing into their elbow. Like, they should have them around Disney.
I told you one time I was in Magic Kingdom and someone sneezed directly in my face, like where I felt the moisture on my face, and I got sick like hours later.
Yeah, there was a lot of that there. So let's talk about, I guess, the people that I met, because I met somebody the first night. So I thought that was actually very interesting. So I obviously will not use people's last names because I feel bad, just in case they don't want it out there. And I don't know if Tom ever even sent Catherine a hat. We owe Catherine a hat. It's on her. That's what I like. So
it will get there. I eventually send out hats to everybody that should have hats.
True.
I just haven't.
They may have offset microphones, but they get their hats. So it was funny. So the first night we ended up going to Disney Springs because we did not have park tickets, and Catherine was there. She was eating at Chef Arts, and we were at Morimoto's because where else would I be? And I got to meet her husband. He's actually was in the Coast Guard. So thank you for your service. And they were very nice. We spoke to them for a few minutes. It was me and my boys because my wife was in line at the outside eating area Morimoto's because I think the inside was like an hour 45 wait, which we obviously weren't going to do, but it was very nice to meet them. It was great. That was our first meet of the trip. And then I'll just go through the meets at this point. We met another Catherine at, was that World of Mickey? Is that the one at Disney Springs? The big store?
World of Disney.
World of Disney.
Yeah,
yes, World of Disney. So I met her there.
Did you do the Void, by the way, or did you not do it?
Yes, I have an interesting story about the Void, by the way.
Oh, good.
So we met her there, and she was shopping, got to meet her husband. Her husband has a podcast. She can post about it underneath this. I forget what it was, but it's about like television shows and stuff like that. I forget the name of it. I apologize. But, it was nice to kind of speak with him and kind of shoot the breeze about podcasting. And she had a lot of shopping bags. Oh my goodness. She had a lot of shopping bags. She's a Disney shopper. Let's just put it that way. They were, again, very nice. I had hats at that point. That was very good. But I'll tell you, I met Steve and his family, and yeah, it was great. We got to ride with them on the safari. So we were in Animal Kingdom, and we met up, and we both had fast passes for the safari. So we ended up going onto the safari, together, and they had, daughters. And I'll tell you, this is what I would say about Steve and his family. They were phenomenal. I would go on vacation with them. Like, I would legitimately, go on vacation with them as a family. They were so nice. We actually saw them over at Rafiki's as well at the drawing. This was a funny story. So we're over, we take the train over to Rafiki's, and we're late because, gosh, why are we not late, right? So we're late. And what ends up happening is that the drawing had already started. So we had to wait for the next one, but our fast passes were done. So what ended up happening is that they put us on the list for the VIP list. So they call all the VIPs over, and then we get to go in. And it was funny because everyone's looking over who are they? Why are they in the VIP line? What's that about? Cause again, it was just because the guy was nice enough to let us, get in as fast passes the next time because our other ones had expired. Yeah. I thought that was funny though. That was fun. But yeah, like I said, it was great meeting everybody. Steve's family is phenomenal. So we talked to them for a while, on the ride, and, there was a stoppage during the safari as well. I think there was a rhino or something in the road. So it was really fun. Steve and his family were phenomenal. It was really fun. Like I said, going on the ride with them, and I appreciated meeting everyone. Everyone was so very nice. So thank you to everyone. That was always great. So you want to ask me about the Void. I'll jump over here a little bit, and I'll talk about the Void a little bit. So what ended up happening is the five of us and my daughter wanted to go. So we had done the Christmas tree. What is that? The Christmas tree trail. Yeah. So we had done the Christmas tree trail right before going to the Void, which is great because it was mobbed the rest of the time that we were there. So this is the day before Thanksgiving. So we go into the Void. We do Wreck-It Ralph because my daughter wanted to do it, and she was more obviously a fan of Wreck-It Ralph than Star Wars. So they split us up because there's 5 of us and it's 4 people normally. So me, my daughter, and my wife go because my boys are my boys and they just want to go by themselves. Fine, whatever. So we finish up and we get out. 20 minutes go by. No kids. Okay. Half an hour goes by. No kids. So we go up and we're like, look, where are our kids? Oh, they're in right now. So, how long is that? Oh, 15 minutes. Okay. 20 minutes later, go back up. Now, I'm a little bent, right? So I go, where are my kids at? Right? And my kids are 15 and 13. They're not 22 and, 28. where are my kids at? Oh, well, no, now I need the manager. So get the manager over. I'm like, look, where are my kids? Like, and let me go check. They're in right now. Okay. Why? Like, why are they in right now? Like, so, cause what happened was my son had texted me and said, we're still not in. They're still letting people in front of us. Now, again, whoever this lady was, I have to thank her. There's a lady in line with my kids that was like telling the cast, well, I'm not going to call them cast members. They're telling the Void people there, hey, why are these boys still sitting here? So they finally get them in, but the whole point is look, when I came up to you the first time, you should have gone back and checked. You didn't. You just told me 15 minutes that they were in, which they were not. And then when I come back and ask you, what's going on? Like, it was just a little bit of a travesty because I was upset about it. So I will say though that the first thing the manager does, let me check in. So I kind of said to her, and she's trying to explain, well, they let 2 Star Wars groups in for 1 Wreck-It Ralph. I said, okay, but I can do math. And if they're 15 minutes each, that would be 45 minutes. It's now over an hour. So what happened? Well, what happened was there was a huge group of Star Wars people that all went in together. There was like 20 of them. But that doesn't mean that you split up our group, right? Like, they're 2 kids and she finally admitted that, yes, we probably shouldn't have split up your kids into a different section. The long and short of it was they gave us a free photo, which I thought was nice, and then gave us free 5 passes. So we do have 5 passes to the Void for free.
Nice. So you didn't immediately use them again, though?
No, I did not. Again, it was definitely a frustrating experience. They handled it the best they could. I was just a little upset about, don't tell me they're in when they're not in. That's the first thing. And 2, you don't split 2 kids under 18 that far away from their parents. So
how was the Wreck-It Ralph version?
Okay. So yes, it was fun. I mean, it's literally the same, right, thing. So again, it's, the fire of the volcano is the fire in the kitchen, but it was fun. It was definitely fun. My daughter had a fun time, but it was definitely harder. There's this one like 3D Space Invaders thing that you have to do, which was kind of hard. But it was fun. It was definitely fun. So that was good. I would definitely do that if you have younger kids rather than the Star Wars one. It was fun. You get to shoot like cupcakes and pancakes, I think, out of the guns.
Cupcakes and pancakes.
Yeah, it was pretty cool though. So let's see on my notes here. So the buses have chargers now. I don't know if they were in when you were there. The USB chargers.
We talked about it on an episode, but maybe it was one you weren't on.
No, okay.
Yeah,
so yeah,
I got one bus that had the chargers in it.
I just feel like that's a weird, like, I don't want to plug my stuff into weird stuff.
It's actually what we talked about on the podcast.
Okay. Yeah.
You must have not been here for that one.
I definitely was not there. So let me see what else I went on. Oh, so here's a tip. I did not bring enough socks, I would say.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why, but I definitely needed more socks and different kinds of socks. What ended up happening was I usually wear like athletic cutoff socks. Not realizing that when you do that much walking, they just didn't feel as good on my feet. So I had to go like with some longer socks the next day. I just didn't have enough socks. So let's see. So in order, that was day 1, kind of, we did the Void, we did Disney Springs. So the next day was Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is boring at Disney. Like, there's nothing going on, because here's the interesting part of Thanksgiving is that Santa doesn't come till the day after Thanksgiving.
Sure. Yeah.
The holiday festival does not start at Epcot until the day after Thanksgiving. Everything starts the next day. So Thanksgiving was truly boring. I'm going to tell you.
Dead zone, like an in-between.
It really was in between. And because there was no like festival food either, it was like we just ate regular food during Epcot, and it was like, okay. Like that's kind of what it was. So
I feel like the place to be on Thanksgiving is Liberty Tree Inn.
Dude, it's so expensive though.
Yeah. No, it's good though.
Yeah, but here's the thing. So if you wait a day, there is all sorts of really good food at the festival. One of those things being a turkey thing. So that was kind of cool. So I talk about that because we ended up going back because of that. I was like, oh my goodness, this, that, and the other thing. Like, no, there's no good food there. So let's see. It was, like I said, I had some notes about sleeping in, which was great. Obviously, the lights at the parks. It's funny. I even mentioned to my wife, I go, wow, I haven't been to Disney in the dark in like years.
Oh, years. So much more magical, I feel like, at nighttime with all the lights and everything, right?
Well, and you double down on Christmas too, right?
Oh yeah. And then Christmas too. Yeah. It's even better.
Yes. So here's an interesting button story as well. I just had a lot of like interesting stories. So here's my interesting button story. So my son, his birthday was the 3rd. We ended up leaving on the 2nd. So he would not wear the button, but my wife had it on her backpack. But my friend who was there for her birthday, you know, and I was very adamant about her only wearing her button on her birthday. What was interesting is that her button broke. So she had to go down and get a new one at the front desk because they were at Animal Kingdom. And what happened was the person at the front desk said, "Oh, is it actually your birthday today?" And because of the fact that I was giving her such a hard time, she's like, "I would like to tell you yes, but it was not." She's like, "I'm just riding the birthday wave." She's like, "My birthday was yesterday." And the person goes, "Well, you know what? For you telling the truth," he's like, "Here's 3 fast passes."
Whoa.
Yep. So they had 3.
That's a welcome home
fast
listener
passes.
right there. That's a cast member that listens to the show, Damon.
Yes. So I thought that was really great. So she got 3 free fast passes. Now they only used 2 of them because we were at Magic Kingdom that day, and really there's not a super ton to fast pass at Magic Kingdom. And it was the day that we were also going to the party. So, but they were able to ride 2 rides. We did the Jungle Cruise that day, which was fun with the Christmas stuff, right? We enjoyed that. And then we did the party at night. Gosh, I'm trying to mix up my days. No, we did not. I'm mixing this all up, but let's just say the day we did the Jungle Cruise, we did, also did the party. So the one thing I want to mention before the party is though I really loved, what is it? Jingle Bam, whatever at Hollywood Studios.
Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam. Is that it?
Yeah. Whatever that one is. That was really awesome at Hollywood Studios. I have to say. Trevor, did you get to see that or no?
No, because the day at Hollywood Studios was actually the day that we ended up cutting ours off early because my son was running out of steam, so we didn't stay into the evening, unfortunately.
Gotcha. That was a really great show. So I would have to say that I really enjoyed that show an awful lot. So again, so back to the party. I enjoyed the party a lot. We did not get crazy with getting pictures. We got some pictures of, I think, let's see, Mickey, Minnie, and Donald in the circus tent, I think, during the party. But other than that, we just kind of rode rides. I really liked Space Mountain. I thought it was great.
Okay. Could you see for about 20 minutes after you got off, or did you have the dots in front of your eyes too?
I don't think they lasted that long, but yes, it was.
For me, it was a good 20 minutes. I couldn't, I kept seeing the flashing dots in front of my eyes.
Okay. I really, really like that though. Everyone, and even my daughter, who's not a huge, Space Mountain fan, still enjoyed that. So I thought that was definitely great. Let's see. So what do I want to talk about? I want to talk about eating because I think
Damon, did you actually watch a fireworks show too? Did you actually see it or no?
Yeah. It was pretty cool. The projections on the castle were my favorite, I would say.
They're amazing. I love the projections.
Yeah, I thought that they were really good for the Christmas show. I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. Do I need to do it again anytime soon? Probably not, but it was definitely worth it to do it once. And again, I would say that I really did like the Prep and Landing one over at Hollywood Studios as well. But I want to talk about the food because that's really like the big thing for me that I really, really enjoyed. So we went back to Epcot by ourselves because our friends only did they did the 1 park a day thing rather than...
Oh, they didn't do hoppers?
They didn't do hoppers. And I get it because they were doing, they had kind of planned just 1 a day. Now I wanted to go to Epcot and I didn't care. So we ended up going back to do the food because I felt like I had to do it because, I'm all about food. So what we ended up doing was we spent that day just eating lunch at Epcot, going around eating the different food. And let me just give you my thoughts on that. Gosh, there was some really good food there. It was expensive though. That's the only thing I would say is that it was definitely expensive because you end up having to buy so much stuff because it's kind of, small. So that was the only downside. I probably spent as much going through Epcot and eating as I would have spent on a true sit down meal somewhere, and probably an expensive sit down meal. I would say between the 5 of us, I was probably close to $200. I'd say that's probably about the number. But
even if it's the same though, at least you get like a variety, right? Like you get a bunch of different kind of stuff, right?
It was. So I'll just straight up go down the list of stuff that we ate because it was so good. So when we were over in, let's see, we did the log. So it was the chocolate Christmas log. That was awesome. In America, we did the slow roasted turkey with stuffing. That's what I was telling you. So we did that. We did 2 of those because that was kind of like our Thanksgiving dinner. And that was in America. That was super duper awesome. We also then did, let's see what I had here. We did in Bavaria, we did the cheese fondue, which was also very good.
That sounds good.
The Linzer cookie. We did not do all of the cookies because we were a little cookied out from the holiday party, which I will say the cookies were actually very good at the holiday party, gingerbread in particular.
So you didn't do the cookie trail that,
We did some of them. So like we did the Linzer cookie, but we did 3 or 4 of them. We did not do all of them. Let's see what else we actually had at the Feast of Three Kings. Oh, the Tres Leches rice pudding with pumpkin seeds. Thumbs up. That was so good. So good. We did a queso there as well. We did a matcha creme brulee over, I guess, was that in Japan? That was really, really good as well. Let's see. I'm kind of just going down the list here. There were so many good things to eat. We did a black and white cookie. We did, let's see.
Gotta have the black and white cookie. That's the
this was in the Shanghai Holiday Kitchen. They were these street fries. Oh my goodness. They were so good. I don't want to mispronounce this. It's like Chengdu street fries. Oh gosh, they were phenomenal.
What were they? Like what was on? Like
they were like a little bit of spicy. Like I don't even know. They were just spicy and they were really good. We did some, Mongolian beef bao, and there was also celebration barbecue pork with steamed rice. Like, cause I like all the Asian food so good. We did that. We did some pizza, some flatbread pizza over in Italy, which was, gosh, there was one that had it had like braised beef tenderloin. My son really enjoyed that. There was just a lot of really, really, really good food. And, we've been to Food and Wine. This was still really good. Like maybe there's a few less items, but it was still well worth it. And I think it's something that's a little, people don't think about when they're going there for the holiday season. Again, our friends decided they were skipping Epcot altogether. Don't skip.
That's crazy talk.
Don't skip. Like the food there is on point. The other things that we did food wise, there was some pine cone at the Starbucks.
Oh, I've seen pictures of that. That's like a super Instagrammable thing.
Oh my goodness. It was so good. That was so good. It was so good. That was my favorite thing that I ate there was that. It was that good. And then we also did one of the Dole Whips. We did the cherry pistachio with frozen hot chocolate at the Dole Whip place.
Ooh, how was that?
It was really good. That was really good as well. And then we did a few of the different things at, was it the Commissary? Is that in Hollywood Studios? Yeah, right?
Yeah. ABC Commissary.
Yeah, they had some special things there, and then there was a special pretzel at one of the other places. So we really did a lot of food. But I would say that there's so many different things at each one of the parks, but Epcot and Hollywood Studios really had some really great food. And that's a lot of what we did. It was super enjoyable. But gosh, I still have so many things. Let's see.
You said you needed an hour, and you still got some time on that hour. So
I do feel like I needed an hour. So we ate at Chef Art's. My son spilled water twice. That was only the begin. That was only the beginning of it. So he spilled water twice, and that was fine. It was, again, that food to me is just whatever, right? Like, and we were also going with our friends that were on the dining plan. So I'm just going to break out all the food here because at this point I might as well just talk about all the food. My son also spilled water at the Polynesian when we were going there for lunch. So,
he's just got a problem with spilling water.
I feel like all boys do at that age. Like I felt like I did as well. We also went to the 50s diner.
Have you never been there?
No.
Didn't care for it? It sounds like you didn't care for it.
The service was slow. Like it was fun. Like listen, it's funny. Like, so it's funny, like for them to be funny, but not like we were like, it was late. And I'm like, dude, just like, it does not take that long to bring out like my friends, like I said, since they were on the dining plan, they had got the desserts, but like, you know, you're not making the desserts. Why is it 15 minutes to bring out desserts? And like the refills, like the situation was just like, you know, she's trying to be funny, but like, dude, at the end of the day, refills are refills, right? So like, it was okay. The food was good. I had the turkey there as well, which I have to say was really good, but the service, while funny, was not good. Just too slow. Like I spent way too much time in there and I didn't care for that part of it.
That's real interesting because I've never had, like, they've always been fast for me. So yeah, it sounds like it's just maybe
definitely a one-off. Yeah. I mean, it definitely may have been a one-off and that was fine. Like I said, the food was good. So it wasn't like a super complaint.
Did you have a funny, like, was your waiter / waitress funny? Cause I've had some before that are less into it, but the one we had last time was really into it. She
was so into it. It was almost like too much. Like, I mean, like she was like mad about the phones, like mad. Like she was like, yo, I'm not bringing you a drink until you put away that phone or that walkie-talkie, right? You know, that's what they call it, the walkie-talkie. Yeah. Like you better put that, and like she really didn't bring him, like it wasn't me, it was my friend. She really did not bring him a refill. And I was like, okay, like this is what we're doing here. So it was fun. Like, but it was, again, I think it was just because it was so long. I had a milkshake there, which was the peanut butter and jelly milkshake, which was very good as well. Like I said, I ate an awful lot of food. I actually lost 7 pounds before I went there just because I knew I'd be eating a lot of food.
just so you could gain it back again, right?
Yeah. And it's funny. Actually, I didn't gain it back because we just did so much walking. It was, you know, you don't realize how much walking that is. So that was, like I said, that was interesting. I'm trying to think about where else we ate. That was, you know, we always go, what's the Italian place in Hollywood Studios?
Mama Melrose?
Yeah. We went there once. Yeah, once. It's fine for me. Like I said,
I agree
fine.
with it. It's fine food. It's good. It's just, it's not like a place that you have to go to.
Yeah, we had pizza at your pizza place, you know, when we were in Epcot that first day.
Oh, you went to Via Napoli?
Yeah.
It was good, right?
It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we also went to the PhotoPass area in Disney Springs. Remember we had talked
like
about
the one
that?
where you can do like different backgrounds?
Yeah. That was interesting as well. And they get some pretty good shots there. So it was fun. We got a lot of pictures in front of the trees as well during the park. I mean, you know, again, we're always at like 400 photos and things like that. Let's see. Slinky Dog. It was okay. Actually, the saucers were more fun than I thought. I was definitely wanted to be down on the saucers, but the saucers were pretty good.
I agree with that because I remember looking at them and I was like, oh, these are not like your typical, like they like switch spaces. Like,
yeah,
you know,
it's a figure 8 track.
Yeah.
And they were a little bit harder push to the outside than I thought they would be. You know what I mean?
Like an old whip ride, you know, like.
Yes. What was that thing called? I forget the name of that, but yes, the whip. One that the silver one that has the eagle on, like the picture of like the phoenix or the eagle or something on it.
Well, I mean, I know it was written, some of them are called the whip, but I know different parks have different names for them too. So,
but yeah, that was definitely, like I said, I enjoyed the sausage a lot. Slinky Dog was okay.
Better than you thought though, right? No? It slinks a little bit. I know you really wanted it to slink, but you know.
Oh, I don't think it slinks at all. The tail was back on though. So the fact that the tail was back on made me the happiest, to be honest with you. But it was just okay. Like I've ridden rides like that are better. Like, you know, it's a dumbed down version of Lightning Rod. So it's okay. That area was tough. As I kind of stated before, it was a little too packed because everyone's there. Like, even with Star Wars, everyone was still there. It was jammied up there. So there's no doubt about that.
I think that's the hard thing about it, is that for as busy as the land is, the rides don't.
They need one more ride, or it needs to be wider. It's just, it's very skinny. It's a very skinny area because with the way you have the both turns. So, right, it's like this weird thing where like you're in the skinny area in the beginning because they have that photo op, and then over to the right is, like, if you're going that way, over to the right is that skinny area, and then you're at Slinky Dog. And then Rider Swap is like in the middle of La La Land there, and that makes it even worse. And then you're down this other skinny path where there's photo ops on sides and then eating places to get to saucers. Like, it's not wide enough. It's never wide. That's what I didn't care for. I thought the land was fine, but it was just so packed. It was uncomfortable, even where other areas might have had as many people. They just don't feel as packed as that little area does.
Yeah, I can see that.
So Star Wars, I guess that's the other thing to talk about. I enjoyed the ride more than I thought. And I was an engineer. I actually liked that role. I thought it was kind of fun. I don't know.
What'd you think of like the queue going into it though too? Because I think the whole thing is pretty cool.
It's cool. Somebody threw up in it.
Oh no!
Wait, in the ride or in the queue?
In the queue.
Oh, like where the chess table is and everything.
No, before that.
Oh, okay.
Thank goodness before that. But it was like a travesty because, like, the queue's not wide. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, it's not wide. It's good. This is what I'm going to say about Star Wars. Like I said, the ride I thought was enjoyable. I could ride it a few times. My kids were pilots. Again, we had a group with, they just put a single rider with us because there's 5 of us. It's okay and it was fun, but the land to me is very concrete-y. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of things that are molded out of concrete and then painted rather than kind of done. If you kind of know what I'm saying though. Like, I mean, while you may or may not agree, you kind of what I'm getting at though.
It doesn't feel as organic as you want it to for being like
Pandora feels organic.
Yeah. Even though Pandora is very concrete as well, but yeah, you're right. It presents better. Because of the plants, it kind of presents better. So
you want more plants. It's like you there.
Yeah, the cantina was okay. I thought it's not what I expected. Like, you can't do anything. Like, you sit there, you drink your drinks, and there's nothing going on. The only thing is they did one like bar song. Like, that was it. Like, it's not like I saw aliens and the animatronic robots is stupid. Like, I didn't care for that at all. The drinks that we had were fine. Expensive, but fine. And the green milk is disgusting. It tastes like you're eating a flower from Pandora. And the blue milk's okay.
I heard the blue milk's the one to go with, but
yeah, the green milk's nasty. Like, no one even wanted it. Like, no one even wants that. Like, I'll throw that away.
It looks radioactive.
I drank it because nobody else would. I didn't find it was awful, but it was, blue's better.
But the cantina was just, whatever. The only thing that I didn't love is that we missed the one night we missed the 360 picture and they told us to come back before 5:30 and then we got there at 5:10 and they're like, no, we're shutting down. It's like, well, the lady told us to come back before 5:30. Oh, well. Like, there was literally like 2 people they could have just fit in, honestly. And listen, I understand that was also the same day they were doing media night. So maybe they needed the camera for something else. But I was a little disappointed in that they weren't doing media night. They were filming. I told you that it wasn't a commercial. It looked like it was like kind of one of the things that they would put on the station for Disney.
Well,
I noticed that they were,
it was definitely a promo sort of thing. So they were filming that. But like I said, it was enjoyable, but I think Rise of the Resistance will be really cool. The one thing I did like about the land though is like Rey was walking around with no handlers. Chewbacca was walking around with no handlers.
The wandering characters are cool.
Yeah, and they weren't mobbed. They were just like, hey, there's Rey. Hey, what's up, Rey? Like,
yeah, and she just goes and talks to people, it seems like,
Yeah, there wasn't like there was anything going on. Like, it wasn't like a problem. Like, no one was hounding them for pictures. No one was doing anything. They were just enjoying that part of, the experience. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, we had Kylo Ren stop some kid right next to us, which was kind of weird. Like you're right. You don't even like realize they're there, and all of a sudden these characters would just pop up. I
like the wandering stormtroopers too. That's always
I like that little area where they're what is that? They're on like, what would you call that? Where the stormtroopers go up on the metal rigging?
Oh, the lookout over the where the TIE fighter is.
That was pretty cool. I mean, we got some good pictures there, but again, what the thing is, what am I doing with those pictures? Like, they're cool and all, but like, what am I doing with a picture with a TIE fighter? Like, am I really putting that up in my house? Probably not. So, but they're cool to have. I think that may do it for everything I kind of wanted to go over.
Well, Trevor was holding back his Star Wars thoughts until you came back. So I know there was, I don't know if there was anything you wanted to mention, Trevor, that you left out last time. But
okay. So Damon, did you get a chance to do any of go into any of the shops or do droid or lightsaber building or anything?
I didn't do droid or lightsaber, and I would say that maybe next time. This is interesting that I would even say this, but gosh, I think I would do a lightsaber. As crazy as that sounds. Droid, not so much. Like, they were cool, and I liked the little areas where they had people doing the droids, but to me, I'm not doing anything with a droid when I come home. Lightsaber was pretty cool. But I went to the shops. The shops are pretty neat. They have some animatronics in the shops, like that one that has that, like, cat thing in the cage or whatever. Like, that's cool.
Yeah, and, we saw that there's the one animatronic, like the hammerhead-looking alien that was moving around in there. I thought,
oh yeah, that's cool.
I honestly thought, wandering through the shops was probably the most, like, you saw the most interesting visuals. And I think, kind of to your point about, everything outside was like, it didn't have the same life to it, but it was like when you went in the shops, you did have that next level. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I would say that shopping area was definitely pretty cool. And yes, it definitely felt more like, what's a good word? Yeah. Like, it definitely felt more
bustling, busy. I don't know.
Yeah, it felt like you were on a planet. Like, the cantina didn't feel like that at all. I think those shops felt more like that than the cantina did. Very disappointed in the cantina, I'll be honest with you.
You were like straight up mad about it, if I remember correctly, afterwards.
Yeah, I was pretty mad about it because it's expensive to boot. You know what I mean? And like, what I had envisioned, truth be told, is that you're in the cantina and maybe there'd at least be a photo op. Like, they're kind of like, hey, don't move around until you're ready to go. Like, you get in, you sit down with another family. Hey, that's no problem. Right? And then, like, we were in like the first booth, so you can't really see too much anyway, but then we realized there's nothing to see. Like, give me some aliens. Give me like a special character besides the DJ. Give me something. Give me a photo op like you get with the Beast on the way out. Like, it should be like a sit down. Like, give me a character. Give me something.
That, you saying all that makes me kind of glad that we didn't bother going in there because, that sounds disappointing, which is kind of sad.
Definitely disappointing. I think that they need to, like, here's what they could have done. Put a table, like, nix one table and give me some character actors at that table that you can take a picture with as you're leaving.
Like Greedo or someone.
I don't even care who you're putting there, right? Like, but something. And I think that would have been cool. And you're only eating up one table to do that. And then as you walk out, like, I literally got up to walk around. I was like, there's nothing here. Like, I'm out. Like, there's no reason to be in here. So it's, like I said, it's, that part was not worth it for me. But again, I could see how the droids were pretty cool. But the lightsaber thing, I might be on board with that next time.
I've heard from a lot of people that have done the lightsaber thing that it's like, it's so well put together and staged, and like, there's, like, I've seen several people say they got emotional during it, like that it was that good. I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I mean, the bum part is that I did miss Media Day by a day, and that would have been pretty cool to go to, so other than that.
So yeah.
Trevor, I don't think we got your thoughts about Smuggler's Run even on the last episode. Well, I think you wanted to wait.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you, Damon, what your thoughts were on the Hondo animatronic. Because I thought they knocked that out of the park.
I would agree with that. Again, I was a little more impressed with the ride than I thought I would be. I don't know why, right? Because really, like, it's still the same thing I thought it was. I think that the theming there, though, is better. I think the theming in that ride is actually better than the park. The park is big, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, did you see the little Millennium Falcon underneath the Millennium Falcon?
What?
Oh,
there's a hidden Millennium Falcon. I heard about it, but I didn't see it.
It's really cool. Like, that area is pretty neat. And they'll point that stuff out to you. Like, people went out of their way more. So it was interesting though. They definitely did stay in really good character because one of us had to ask a question about something and like they were in character over at that ride area. So that was pretty cool. Yeah. I enjoyed that ride altogether. I think it was definitely fun. Replayability, probably 6 times and then I'm done. Right. But that sounds pretty reasonable. My kids were horrible. Like I said, I was the one that knocked it out of the park. I was like, I didn't know anything that I was supposed to do. I think I could have gotten 100, but like, I just didn't know what I was doing. And the first time it came up, I was like, oh snap. Like that's what I'm doing. But I was
Were you yelling at them from the back, like fly better.
Oh yeah. I was yelling at them and I was like, I was killing it on mine. Like those buttons lit up. They were knocked down in half a second. All of them. Boom, boom, boom. Done. Like, and I was like all on it. So yeah. They were not piloting all that well. It's the thing is, it's actually a ride where I'm going to tell you, like, I think it's almost worth knowing a little bit before you get in, especially if you're going to wait for a long time. Yeah. Because
I'll say this is that one of my coworkers went before we did and he didn't spoil it, but he told me, here's how, the seats are split and everything. My son and I ended up piloting and we probably did worse than your kids did.
I don't know if it's possible, but okay.
Well, but piloting is really a lot harder than you think it is. Like
yeah, because the shooting, my daughter she did auto. So when you have auto, you're just button pushing at that point.
Yeah.
So, but piloting, like, yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, you need somebody, cause each pilot controls separate directions. So you have to have some, like, up and down and left and right have to be working well together. And I guess for anybody that's, going on the ride, that's your preparation is, you do want to coordinate with the rest of your party to make sure that you guys know what your roles are, because otherwise you won't do well on it.
No, and I specifically chose engineer because again, like I'm that dad, like, oh, you know what? You guys have the best experience you can. And I enjoyed my spot, to be honest with you, an awful lot. And the person that was thrown in with us was also an engineer.
Yeah, you see, but for us, it was me and my son piloting, and then my parents were with us. And, my parents would never want to drive, so they were fine being the gunners. And then we had two other people doing the engineer part. Okay. But even my parents thought it was amazing from where they were sitting. But even, we were kind of yelling at them to shoot stuff because they were more interested in watching what was going on, didn't realize that they had to be,
And I think I think that's why you have to actually do all the spots, because I didn't do a lot of watching as well, because I was very serious in my role. Like I was very serious about what I needed to do. So
yeah,
my goodness. It was fun though. It was definitely fun.
It's good for a couple of rides for sure. You definitely want to get used to it, and then you'll probably enjoy it better because you're expecting it, right? So
yeah. Gosh, we have a lot more to talk about. Tom, ad time.
Oh yeah, we should probably, we're like way past our ad time, aren't we? Oh my gosh.
We are.
All right. Well, I'll do that really quickly then here. So, this is for our friends over at DVC Resale Market. DVC Resale Market is the leader in the DVC resale industry with 11 former Disney Vacation Club guides and 2 former Disney Vacation Club quality assurance managers. If you're thinking of buying DVC, browse the largest selection of DVC resale listings anywhere, with DVC experts on hand 7 days a week to answer any and all of your questions. If you're thinking of selling, turn to the friendly professionals at DVC Resale Market, where over 98% of listings sell within 30 days and nearly 3,000 contracts were sold in 2018 alone. They've shattered that record this year. That's how great they are. And, of course, a lot of our listeners have something to do with that. So if you have any interest in talking to DVC Resale Market, go to their website at dvcresellmarket.com or call 1-844-DVC-PROS. That's 1-844-382-7767. Of course, most importantly, let them know that Welcome Home sent you so they know where you came from and that you heard about them on this show. We've heard from so many listeners that have heard...
That's what I was going to say, right? We just had somebody recently post in the group, which I don't understand how we have, over 2,000 people that follow us and only like 400 in the group. The group's fun. But anyway, we had someone post in the group about actually hearing about them from us. And here's the other interesting thing. Steve, who I, rode the safari with, he might have talked me into resale. Right. So he gave some very good points. He could be a salesman for them. He was, he has some resale contracts and, he was talking to me about it and just kind of, what I'll say is, for me, I was on the, Riviera. And what Steve had said, as long as you can get buy-in on a split stay, does it even matter? Because even if you want to go to one of those places, you still can with a resale contract. Maybe you just can't do your whole time there. And, the more I kind of thought about that, I said, well, that's, definitely interesting because you're right. If I was to go for a longer trip, why do I care if I'm split staying? And my wife was kind of like, maybe it wouldn't be so bad if we were just doing, one split in the middle somewhere. So
yeah, there you go. Right.
Yeah. So I have to definitely consider it some more, than I originally thought.
Yeah, and we have heard, from so many people, like you said, we just had a post the other day on the group that said they bought because they heard about Resale Market on our show. So please, it's really important that you tell us that stuff and that you tell DVC Resale Market that too, because we love having them as a sponsor and they definitely value our partnership too. So again, dvcresellmarket.com or 1-844-DVC-PROS.
So speaking of DVC, do we want to just get into this DVC news now?
Yeah.
Let's talk points charts. Dun, 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 dun. I'm not happy about this.
Well, it's funny because this is not nearly as bad as the last time they tried to do this, right?
Yeah.
So the big thing is they've gone, because previous years there was 5 seasons and now there's 7, right?
For 2021, let's make that clear. For 2020, we still got 5.
Yeah. So next year doesn't matter, but the following year, you're going to want to look at weeks that you normally plan to go because they have shifted things around. And really, there's only a couple of weeks in September that are like the low season at this point. So
yeah, no, exactly. I think it's kind of good that they split it out into 7 seasons, and they actually explained this in the DVC Condo Association meeting. But I think this is obvious what the reason why they're doing this is so they can try to make more availability where they want it. It's the same reason why they make the tickets more expensive during some times of the year and, more cheaper during other times. They're trying to affect guest behavior, right? So.
Yeah, and it's funny because now that I've gone during, the Thanksgiving / Christmas season where the points are going to go up, I'm like, oh, I kind of like going at this time. And then I looked, I was thinking to myself, what would be really awesome is to go the day after Christmas. And then I looked at the points. I was like, no, it wouldn't.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't.
I'd
be triple the points.
Too many points.
Yeah.
But that's the idea, right? They're trying to deter people from doing that. So
yeah, I don't like that though. Let me go once first. Maybe I'll have to go in 2020 before everything. But that is definitely I looked at the numbers, was like, yeah, I can't do that. I'll need 3 resale contracts.
Yeah. And it definitely I always started looking at it and my wife and I have already started talking about 2021. And the struggle, of course, is that they want to really push the low parts of or low seasons, times when the kids are in school and stuff like that. And for us, by that point, our son's going to be getting into junior high, and it's going to be harder to pull him out of school for those kinds of things. So it's
it gets tougher, Trevor.
Yeah, it makes it hard to really decide when is the best time to go? Do you just accept that you don't get to do as many days, or I don't know on that one.
What I will say is, again, since I'm the oldest of this group, or not even that, I have the oldest kids of this group, right? So currently I have one in high school, one in middle school, and one in elementary school, I guess, as you would call it. And what I found that this time, the problem ends up being is Disney, you kind of have to plan in advance, and that's a problem. Like, if you were to do some last minute trips, it's a different story when the kids are in high school. So what I'll tell you is what I found very interesting. Our kids down here are not in this thing where you get, one class for the whole year. You get one class for half of the year. So like you have math just half of the year, English just half
semester system, right?
Yep. So what ends up happening is that if you miss, you're missing a lot of time. So he missed 2 days of school, but what ended up being interesting is that this is his easy semester. His next semester is the one with math and with chemistry. So this semester had a lot of his electives, like he has cooking. Okay, right? You missed 2 days of cooking. Well, they'll teach you how to, bake a cake or whatever the case may be in that class. So it wasn't so bad. So we just lucked out, where he was actually concerned about it when we told him when we were originally going. He's like, yeah, I don't know if I can miss that much school, but it lucked out for him. But that's the problem, as you get into the high schools and stuff, is that, maybe it won't be bad, but maybe it will. But you don't know 11 months out. That's for darn sure.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem. Looking a year or 2 years out, it's so hard to say, I'm definitely going to go, March, or I'm going to go May or whatever. Like I can't, we're in the same boat where he's not even in high school yet. And I'm going, well, I don't want to hurt his schooling. So how do we plan these trips? And maybe it's just, you got to suck it up and say, yeah, I'm going over spring break, and it's not going to be, there may be a couple of years in there where you're just not doing the trips that you necessarily want to do.
Well, and what's interesting is that I always thought the trips that I wanted to do were going on the most rides. And gosh, it was sure as heck nice sleeping in and not worrying about what I was doing, and then eating as much food as I wanted, right? Like there was, try to do different types of trips, because what I thought I didn't want was actually nice, right? Like it was definitely nice being up a little later, doing like some things out, but also then being able to sleep in, not being like, oh gosh, like I have to be up at 7:00 because I gotta go here or I gotta go there. It's not so bad staying up late if you can sleep in. And I think that's what I found very interesting for me is, doing that sort of trip. So I would agree with you, Trevor. Like, the problem with what happens is as they get a little bit older, depending on what they're in, like be it sports, marching band, like I'm kind of stuck now because I can't do August either because, my son plays soccer, right? And they're already practicing and having tournaments for high school at that time. And you can't miss, if you want to talk about missing classes, you better not miss a high school sporting event. Like that's almost just as bad, if not worse. So we're very limited because it used to be my son was off of swimming. My other son was off of swimming in August. So we'd always go in August. It worked out great until my other son started playing soccer for the high school and then can't go away in August. So like we have to go like in June, like right when June, like legitimately right when June school is out, that's when we have to go. This time worked out okay, but my son had a travel meet for swimming right when we got back. And, that was tough then because he's out of practice for a week. And then swimming is not like other sports. I don't know if it's like running or anything, but like you miss a week, like that's a lot, especially before a meet.
You have to stay very much on top of it, right?
So what we ended up doing at Saratoga the boys ended up working out every night, which was good. Like they enjoyed doing that at Disney. So my wife would just go with them because I think you have to have an adult there. So she definitely went the first time. We'll leave it at that. But outside of that, it was definitely interesting for them to come back to that. So Trevor, I definitely feel your pain, but I don't think it matters until high school. That's what I'm going to tell you.
And that's fair. It's just, like I said, as far as, planning DVC goes, it's a weird balance. Like I don't want to disrupt my life because of it, but of course DVC is changing things. So we do have to kind of figure out where it sits in our priorities, right?
And our people that we travel with, the wife said that she'll never travel in the summer again. She said the weather was absolutely great. But the problem is that we also had such a good week of weather that it was almost unreal.
Yeah. Like, you have the same.
You're probably not going to get that again.
Yeah. Same with us. We didn't have any rain the week we were there, which is like, that's a miracle.
Yeah,
So-
where it's like, it's 80 and then the low is what? The low is maybe,
Like-
I think 50 or 60.
Yeah, I was going to say like 60 something.
Yeah, which was nothing. Like, that was great. Like, the other thing is that we forgot our ponchos. No big deal, right? But we also, the kids were getting like a little like sniffles on the way down. So we stopped at Walmart and bought a whole bunch of cough medicine and cold medicine. And then they never got sick because that's how things work, right? That's how the way you have to do it.
You have to keep it so that they don't get sick.
Yes, 100%. Oh, it's funny. I had two, again, if you're done, Trevor, I'm sorry to interrupt. I had two other stories that I totally forgot about. So the one is our friends probably don't even want us to talk about this, but they had, the wife dyes her hair and she must have not really rinsed it all that well. So like they literally turned, and she's dyes it red. They literally turned the jetted tub at Animal Kingdom pink. But here is a very, very
That's funny.
interesting story. So we go to Disney Springs with them, and we actually did a lot of shopping. It was very nice actually. We bought my son some stuff for his birthday while we were in Disney Springs, and the prices are really not half bad there. I'm going to tell you, they're not bad at all in comparison just to regular shopping. So we were at Disney Springs. Now there was a police dog out, and he was off to the side, and we were, on our way to kind of walk by them, but he must have been showing another family about like the dog and, how it was doing work, and he was kind of playing with it and stuff like that. So my friend, the wife, she decides to touch the tail for some reason. Now she has this thing where she kind of like boops the ends of dogs' tails like a high five. I don't know, just that's what she does, I guess. But what it looked like is that she walked by and grabbed the dog's tail.
Oh no.
I thought she was going to get arrested, actually. It was very interesting. But the police officer gave her probably one of the nastiest looks I have ever seen in my life. And we made a joke about it, right? Because she was not doing that. That's not what she was doing. She was high-fiving the tail. But just the way it looked from the angle, it looked like she pulled the dog's tail. So we were like, yep, you can't do that to dogs' tails. Like, we were like, she was calling it like booping the dog's tail, like, high-fiving it.
Yeah.
So when she was in Animal Kingdom, what's the dog's name from Up?
Doug.
Doug.
So she did that to Doug, like when she saw Pluto, like she was whooping all the dog's tails at Disney. It was actually very funny, but oh gosh, this police officer was not happy at
pleased.
all. And again, he didn't see what he thought he saw, but it was still like, oh boy, that was definitely interesting. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is there anything else we want to say about these point reallocation? I mean, it's not point reallocation. Let's make this clear. We talked about this a while ago, and I think it was like the most controversial conversation we ever had on the show. We got so many emails angry at us about the point reallocation thing we talked about the last time. So it's not that. It's just they're doing more seasons and they made more subtle changes. I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily. I think it's good to try to spread out demand.
Yeah, and I think for anybody listening, go look at the point charts, and you do just have to kind of think about how you want to plan your vacations, because that will be a deciding factor, I think, going into 2021.
Yeah, absolutely, makes total sense. So, I put in a thing here about the condo association meeting. So every year for DVC, they have the DVC condo association meeting. Not a lot of like really interesting stuff came out of there, but there were a few things. Like, first of all, that the Epcot lounge is going to be, through 2020. So they renewed that through 2020. So that's good news.
Yeah,
I think. Right. So I'm happy about that.
Until they bring back Club McCool, though. Super Club McCool. I don't feel like
Club Cool. I don't know if you've seen the state of Club Cool right now, but it's down to the steel.
Bad.
So
yeah, it was. We still got our free drinks though up there, and got our snacks. The snacks keep going farther and farther downhill though. They're animal crackers now, like no name brand animal crackers.
I got Cheez-Its when I was there.
Yeah, we got Cheez-Its.
They have Cheez-Its too, but it's like Cheez-Its and animal crackers. Like, do you remember going there when they were like, there was Oreos and like Nutter Butters and stuff?
I thought I saw Oreos last time I was there, but
Yeah, I think we had a choice between Lay's and Cheez-Its, so.
I don't know. I still drank a lot of soda, so that was okay.
Yeah, so you made up for it with drinking all the soda.
I do.
The one thing on here that I did find interesting, I believe Boulder Ridge was due for a full refurb in 2021, but I think they actually moved that up to 2020 from what I saw. So which is good because I don't know if you've stayed. I stayed there a couple years ago and it was kind of in bad shape. So
hey, you want to talk about bad shape? We were at Saratoga. We did not get one of the new rooms, but it probably was good and bad because my daughter got to sleep in the closet again, which she loves. She loves that closet. I sent Tom and Trevor a picture of her sitting, in the
Still
closet
in her
reading
closet.
a book.
Yeah, it's private. She's got her own private little mini room.
And that's interesting because I think, as crazy as this sounds, if she had been out with the boys, even though it would have been on her own, like, pull-out chair sleeping arrangement, that would have been far worse than her being in the closet by herself. But the one bathroom is still hurtful. Hurtful with one bathroom.
it's got to be tough with 5 people.
I don't think I can do that anymore. I think, like, I have to buy points just to get, like, the double bathroom. Now, we were at Polynesian as well. That's double toilets there?
Nope. It's a single toilet, but they've got 2 showers.
Yeah, see? Well, I won't tell you what my boys would...
Go listen to a couple episodes ago and you'll find out.
Yeah, my boys would use that as a second toilet as well. But that all being said, I need 2 toilets next time. I need to... So I guess we're going 2-bedroom at that point, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much, you got to do 2. You got to do 2.
That's why I need more points.
Well, the Animal Kingdom 2-bedroom that I was in had 3 bathrooms, which was pretty great. So
yeah, that's almost overkill, but yeah.
Well, it's nice because it had like the little it wasn't even a half bath in the living room area. It was a full. I mean, the people that we were with most often ended up using the shower that was in the bathroom in the main room. I don't know why, but. And then, I mean, the master bathroom there was kind of ridiculous. We even felt guilty just having it. Like we told everybody in our group that, hey, if you want to use this bathroom, but you can use it, please. Cause we just felt so bad cause it was so nice. But yeah, I just, that was an aside, but, they also mentioned too, the cast member salaries continue to be the driving source behind the cost increases. Obviously it was, the dues went up a lot less this past year. Because I think they took a big bite out of it last year and things went up a little bit less. But they also were talking about too, which I found interesting, that transportation is actually one area for a cost increase because the resorts that that rely heavily on buses, they have to have more in the transportation budget for that. Because they actually increase driver wages and there's later hours at the theme park, so they're paying overtime. So there's also that. So I thought that was interesting too.
Yeah, the buses at Saratoga are atrocious in comparison to the other ones because, you come back and there's 3 stops and you're not that first stop. Ugh, it's brutal. It's brutal with those buses.
I think that's a good reason to, for DVC members to be hinting at more Skyliner.
Skyliner's everywhere.
Yeah.
They should be going across Route 4. I don't care how they do them. Yeah, get them everywhere.
So they did actually, somebody mentioned that in the meeting. There's a Q&A portion. So somebody said how much they love the Skyliner and asked if it would be extended. And the DVC person said there's no plans to extend the Skyliner at this time, which is disappointing.
Well, that just means they're not officially talking about it.
Yeah, they're not ready to talk about it.
They're not ready to talk about it. But I mean, I'm glad you liked it, Damon, because Trevor and I both thought it was amazing. It was great in every way. It's fast. There's no line. It's gorgeous views.
Even when there's a line, that line goes fast.
It does.
And see, here's the thing with the bus that's horrible. You never know when the bus is going to be there. Like we were at a spot where the bus took forever to get there and people were like, see, the problem is people. That's really the problem. Listen. The bus is going to get there when the bus gets there. If that means that the bus is 40 minutes, so they were saying that when we were at Disney Springs, coming from Disney Springs back to the hotel, that they were trying a new system the day before Thanksgiving for whatever reason for the busing, maybe to mitigate, some sort of perceived, rush of people. But whatever the case may be, the bus ended up taking close to 40 minutes to get there. Here's the thing. Arguing and complaining about it isn't going to do anything. And the worst part was that there was one time where a bus came, stopped, and then was like, no, I'm not picking up. Oh, okay. So people lost their mind.
Got more mad. Yeah.
Oh, they lost their mind. But the whole big thing about it is that, you don't know, at least when you're going on the Skyliner, okay, so there's 2 people going on every X amount of seconds. All right. I should be about X amount of time, and you're always moving. So even if a bus was going to be there quicker, it's almost more, it's less anxiety to get on the Skyliner.
I'll admit I only rode the bus twice when we were there for the whole week. That was
Really?
Yeah, because you can take the boat. See, that's the thing. You can take the Skyliner to the boat and get to a lot of places too.
Yeah,
That's true. Yeah.
yeah. We only needed it for Animal Kingdom and Disney Springs. Every other time we were Skyliner, monorail, or boat. Because I hate waiting for the bus. It just stresses me out.
Yeah, like there's something to be said for like a moving line as opposed to a non-moving line. Like at least when a
100%.
line's moving, it feels like less of a wait, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, like when you're just standing still, you feel like you're waiting forever. But at least when you're moving, it feels like something's happening. So yeah, no, I think that's a part of it too.
Yeah, and you can kind of get a feeling about how long it's going to be mentally. Like sometimes just the waiting and not knowing. Listen, the app for the bus isn't necessarily helpful because it's not accurate all the time.
Yeah. And
well, I actually think the problem is that it's too accurate and that the buses, they hit traffic and like, so it's telling you the exact time. And then, but then, it's like your GPS, right? Like every day on my way home from work, it'll tell me I'm going to get home at, 5:50. And by the time I actually get home, it's 6:15 because traffic gets worse, right? So I almost think it's actually too accurate because it's just constantly changing, but I agree. I agree on the premise.
So speaking of moving, do we want to keep moving on these topics? Cause
yeah,
we do.
We can do that. Yeah, no, we can definitely do that. So, who wants to read this one? I feel like I've been talking a lot. I don't know.
Which one are we talking about?
Rise
of the Resistance.
So should we just read Jeremy's thing?
Well, I mean, I wanted to talk about how you thought the X-Wing drones were pretty lame when I thought they were pretty cool.
They had no weight to them though. They weren't fast. They had no weight to them. They looked like drones. I think we've had this discussion in our own personal messages. So I'm very confident on listening to what Trevor has to say as well.
Yeah. I mean, they're floaty. Like it didn't look like a spaceship. It looked like a drone with an X-Wing on it, which, yeah, I agree with Damon on this one that I know they sunk a lot of, time and money into making those, but yeah, it seems like it was a bit of a waste, unfortunately.
Oh man, I disagree with both of you. I thought it was super cool and they looked really cool. My only disappointment is that they flew away from the camera and not across the land. That was my big disappointment.
Well, that's safety. There's no question about that.
Yeah, you'll never see that.
No. I was hoping that they were going to fly like over the back, like, that they were going to be like parallel to the camera.
The whole point was that they had to get them out of, eyesight so that they could then have them blast off to hyperspace because we sure as heck weren't going to see that.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That was my disappointment, but I still thought it was a cool first try at least, but
I'll listen, I'll give them a good effort, hey, thumbs up, good effort, but it's just not there yet for me. And I don't think we're going to see it outside of events, personally.
No, I don't think this is going to be a nightly thing, although I think it'd be cool if it was.
Yeah. And I guess the thing is too, is I've seen YouTube videos of like in China and stuff, them using drones for air shows and it being way more impressive than those X-Wings. So I feel there's a bar there that they're not hitting. And unless they're really going to go all in on it, it's kind of a, don't detract from the overall experience trying to do something like that if you're not going to commit all the way to it.
I get it. Yeah, no, I get it. Let's talk about this whole boarding group thing because I did not see this coming. I didn't think that they were going to do this, and because they've never done this before, this is a brand new thing, a new concept for Disney. I was shocked by it the morning that it was opening because they didn't announce it ahead of time, right? They didn't say that ahead of time they were going to do it. So for those that don't know, and if you're in part of any Disney group right now, there's no way that you can't know. Because it's everywhere. But basically the only way to get onto Rise of Resistance still, and we're, just a week or so after opening, you can only get on it through the virtual queue that they set up originally to get into the land itself, but now they've set it up for Rise of the Resistance. I think it's a really smart move. because for a lot of reasons. I mean, first of all, it helps them with crowd control, but also it helps them operationally because obviously they knew that this thing was super complicated and was going to break down a bunch the first, month or even beyond. So this really helps them because they only call people when they, are able to call people and get them into the line. As opposed to somebody just, a whole bunch of people, it breaks down and then a whole bunch of people are standing in line and not moving and they're mad, right?
Yeah. I mean, look at Hagrid's coaster, right? Like they don't want 5-hour waits and a bunch of people standing.
It was 10 hours, wasn't it, when it opened?
Was it 10? I saw 5 at one point, but
yeah,
either way, you don't want that. You don't want, thousands of people standing in the line being mad because the ride is down. This is a much smarter way to control that. But, yeah,
but you got to show up at 5 a.m. now to get a board.
Exactly. So, do we want to go through Jeremy's summary here on the opening?
Yeah, and just to say this, we had a couple people email us and a couple people offer to email us that were there, so we appreciate it. But we want to read Jeremy's here. Who wants to read it? Trevor or Damon?
I'll give it a shot.
All right.
So he says, part 1, the opening. Our family of 5 attended on opening day of December 5th. They woke up at about 4 and drove to Hollywood Studios. They arrived at about 5 and were let into the park at 5:20. Oh, that's crazy. Cast members were lined up to help guests check into boarding groups. At this time, we learned that boarding groups were not for the land, but for the ride itself. So opening day makes sense. Joining the boarding group allowed the guests to enjoy the park while waiting. At 6 o'clock, all the rides were operational. It should have been noted that the official park opening at that time, on that day, was 8 a.m. And the event merchandise was available also.
Can I say that I think it's pretty cool that they actually did open it early and had all the rides open. I mean,
yeah.
They don't have to do that, but I think it's cool that they were like, we're ready to open. Let's open everything. I mean, that's cool.
Yeah. I mean, I think for opening day, that was smart because they knew there was going to be a bunch of people standing around and it just would have made it worse if it was, wait here for 3 hours. So, Jeremy goes on to say he only encountered one hiccup. The ride went down after their boarding group was called, but before they had boarded the ride. There was a bit of confusion, but all in the first 20 boarding groups were issued. But all in the first 20 boarding groups were issued at Hollywood Studios for all the rides. I'm not sure what that, or how that, I think what he's supposed to say is all the boarding groups were already taken at that point. So
yeah, I think that's what he was trying to say.
Okay.
There,
yeah. So he says they hung around.
No, hold on a second. Hold on. So what he's saying is that everyone that was in the first 20 boarding groups were issued a fast pass because they couldn't get on the ride.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So that you get a fast pass that includes all rides.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah.
what they get. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, okay. So yeah, he got an additional fast pass. They hung around, and the ride came back up and he was able to get on. So then he goes on to say part 2, the ride. After the boarding groups were called, it seemed that the wait in the queue should be no longer than 30 minutes. The experience was about 18 to 20 minutes long and should be noted that you are not in a ride vehicle the entire time. And I think we've already talked about this. Some say that these are the pre-shows, but I think it's appropriate to say that it's part of the experience. He then goes on to say, I would say hands down, this is the most immersive experience Disney has ever built. The storyline is a nice tie into the land and gives the guests a chance to step into a Star Wars movie. The scale is massive and the ride has so many moving parts and details that truly show the love and care that it takes. The love and care that makes this worthy of the label of Disney's latest and greatest. He says, as we disembarked, several cast members, Imagineers, and even, the WDW president, Josh DeMauro, greeted guests. Everyone who got off the ride had a smile and some people were even emotional, which is not surprising. He goes on to say for, definitely a must ride for any guest and especially for Star Wars fans. So, I haven't heard anything negative about this ride yet. So
I haven't heard one person say overrated.
Yeah.
It's like, you always get that, right?
Yeah. Which, I mean, that's saying a lot. Like I can't think of any, like even the rides that we talk about or, like Toy Story Land and all that, there's very few occurrences where, people speak about it and, there, like you said, there's usually at least one person who goes, I could take it or leave it. I think maybe I'm building this up a little too hype in my head, but I think, this is going to be that, the top tier experience at Disney World for at least a little while.
Well, and I've seen I've read a couple different reviews of it. Theme park, was it Theme Park Insider? Yeah. Who, like, the guy that writes there, I think it's Robert Niles. He's a pretty well respected guy as far as theme parks go. He called it the best theme park ride in the entire world. WDWNT, who is super, super, super critical of everything Disney puts out, said it's a modern classic. It's the best ride that Disney's ever built. So even some of the critics out there of Disney are saying that this thing is incredible. I am so sad I can't ride it yet. I'm like dying to ride this thing. And I'm sure, Trevor, I know you're so spoiler averse that you're probably dying to just get on it so you don't get it spoiled for you,
I've had to ignore so many YouTube videos and Facebook posts. People are, they're excited and they're like, here's a full ride through it. And I'm hitting ignore on all of those videos because I'm going to be there next year. And I have every intent to go on it. I don't care how, if I have to wait, I have to wait. That's fine. But I want to see it.
Oh yeah, totally worth it. And my sister and her boyfriend are going in early February. And I was like, you're going to have to get there early. Cause it seems like I know we're only a week out, but Flight of Passage still has a 2-hour wait sometimes. I don't know if the hype's really going to die down about this.
Not anytime soon. Like it's
unreal. And I just think they're going to keep the virtual queue for a while too. I'm wondering if this is going to be a new thing. Like, are they going to do this is Tron going to have a virtual queue? Is, Guardian's going to have a virtual queue? Is this the new way going forward? Is this going to replace FastPass someday? Cause I think Universal they have all virtual queues, don't they? Damon, correct me if I'm wrong. I think they changed all virtual queues at least at Volcano Bay.
Well, Volcano Bay is different than the parks.
Yeah.
No, true, but I thought that they changed to virtual queues at.
I don't know. I've never seen a virtual queue there.
I think it's a newer thing. I don't know if you've been there recently, but
isn't that really what fast passes are? Is it's just you're just reserving that virtual queue spot
for all intents and purposes, right?
Yeah.
The difference here is that the virtual queue, is basically you getting in line, but and you can't pick your time. I actually think of it's almost like the old FastPass system in that you don't get to pick a time.
Yeah, you just scan your card and it tells you a time. Yeah. And that's it. Yeah. I guess the way to think of it is, maybe this is a sign of them. Right now we have standby and FastPass queues. Maybe it's just, standby queues are going to go away and it's just going to be all FastPass queues.
That's what I'm wondering here. That's what I think is interesting to speculate about,
Yeah. Which, if it gets people, hanging out in the park more, you go and you do your rides, but you don't spend, those hours standing.
You can't do that everywhere. You got to e-ticket only or something because, you got to have stuff for people to do when they're not, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because right now my biggest struggle with Hollywood Studios is the fact that everything is tier 1 because what we were there, we did Star Tours and we did Smuggler's Run, and outside of that, it was a lot of standing around, which didn't feel very good.
Yeah, that's the I'm sure they're going to change that.
When there's good food, though, it's a lot easier.
True.
Did you eat any food in Star Wars, Damon, or just?
No, there's
just the milk.
Just the milk. Like, there was nothing that I was super excited about. My wife is a huge Pandora, food person. So we went over there instead. Like when we were at Animal Kingdom, like there was a couple times where we're like, outside of the meal. So our friends were on the dining plan. So we did some sit downs and stuff like that. So outside of the sit downs, she wanted to eat there and I was like, Star Wars, not so much.
We actually,
but that Ronto wrap's pretty good. That's,
Sorry. Now that I think about it, I just remembered we discovered, or we tried in Pandora, those pineapple cream cheese spring rolls.
Everybody talks about those.
Yeah. I ended up, those ended up being a big hit with my entire family. So yeah, there's some good food in Pandora still.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, Damon, you've been kind of quiet about this, about Rise of the Resistance. Obviously you're
about what? The boarding passes?
What's that?
You mean about the boarding passes?
No. You've just been quiet. I just, just curious what your thoughts on all the whole thing.
I know until I ride it, I have no thoughts. Right?
Well, it would have been great for you because you would show up there at 4 o'clock in the morning, right?
I don't know. I was loving the sleeping in stuff, man. I'm going to tell you. See, again.
But for this ride, though, you would do it one day, right?
I mean, I guess I probably would have, but there was something nice about sleeping in, though. There really was something nice about sleeping in. The only problem is that, you come to realize as you DVC and, go a bunch of times that you can do that. I don't think I could have done that the first 10 years, first 5 years for sure. But now I definitely could. Like when I go to Disney next time, like what do I really need to ride besides this? This is really the only thing I need to ride. Like we did Peter Pan, but we did not do Pooh because that line is unreal.
Yeah,
Forget all that.
For a ride that's, great, but.
I mean, we've done it a few times. Like, I don't need to do it all the time. So I think that was the nice part. So would I have gotten up early? Of course I would. Would I maybe have gone by myself and gotten up early? That seems more likely. That might have happened. But, when I go next time, like there'll be 4 or 5 things. If there's 4 or 5 things and I can fast pass at least 3 of them, I'm good.
Golden.
Yeah, I'm good.
So I saw some people were upset that they changed all the extra magic hours to nighttime now, and that they're not going to be offering Rise of the Resistance. Which I don't know why people are mad because they never were going to offer Rise of Resistance during extra magic hours.
I think a lot of people were banking on that. They were going, I can sneak around the busy time and go during extra magic hours. Nope, Disney's on to you.
Well, and plus, I just don't even know how they would make that work logistically. Like, because they've got these boarding passes all day that they've been struggling to fill all of them anyway, right? I mean, they've cut back significantly, right?
And how many people would get mad, I guess, if whether it's, extra magic hours or an after hours party, if, right now, as the ride is still being figured out, they don't want to guarantee that because you're going to have people coming back and, raging at cast members because they had an expectation that they were going to ride it. So
that's exactly right. And I'm sure people already are raging at cast members every time it breaks down. Which is amazing to me because, man, it's the most complicated thing they've ever built. Like, give it some time. Yeah. It's going to take some time.
Yeah, and I know our listeners know better, but maybe tell those people that don't know better. Don't rage at the people that are just doing their job there. It's not cool.
Yeah, I mean, because they don't want it to be broken down either, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if Trevor, you watched the last episode of the Imaginary Story. I know Damon, you're not really into it, but no, you haven't.
No.
Okay, so the last episode they talk about some of the Star Wars stuff, and one of the interesting things I found is the guy that was responsible for the whole land, which I found out fairly recently. He was also responsible for Spider-Man and for the overall Harry Potter stuff at Universal. So Disney poached him over, and so that's I guess why they put him in charge of this, right? Is because Harry Potter was so successful. But anyway, the interesting thing, he was talking about Smuggler's Run, and he was like, "We don't know if we can make this work." And then he goes, "A couple months out, it didn't work at all." and he goes, and this I guess was a couple months before it opened. And then he was like, "Now it mostly works. We're not really sure if we're going to be able to get it to completely work." And I just thought it was kind of funny that he would admit that they couldn't figure it out. But,
well, the problem with Smuggler's Run is, what's going to happen is going to be the same thing that kind of happened with Star Tours towards the end before the revamp as well. If you don't stay on top of it and those screens start becoming a little bit unsynced with the movement, you're going to have some sick people.
Oh yeah.
Well, and I thought you were going to say like stale, like maybe just weren't.
No, we rode Star Tours towards the end before like the revamp. It was brutal. Like looking at the ground going, "Oh my goodness, this is tough. This is really tough." And now it's like, it's not so bad, but it was tough back then. Yeah, I wonder though, do you think that Smuggler's Run will end up having some other, like really it's computer generated, right? So at the end of the day, could you have different stories?
Would they? Yeah, I would bet. Go ahead. Sorry, Trevor.
Yeah. I mean, what Damon was saying, could they change it? Could they do, different worlds that you go to and all that kind of stuff?
I 100% believe they will do that. Like, I absolutely believe they have the capability to add things in from the new movie that they, any new movies they do or any new stuff that they want to add, like they've been doing with Star Tours. Why wouldn't they do it, right?
I think it might be a little bit more work involved, but yeah, I mean, I could see it in, a few year refresh. Here's the other question. Are we done with Star Wars Land?
Well,
I doubt it. I'm sure there's some sort of plans for expansion at some point.
You don't think after this movie that's coming out, like, was it next week?
I don't think we're gonna see anything that soon.
Well, that's what I mean is, we're hitting the last movie in the final trilogy. I think things are going to stay the way they are, at least for a little while, probably for 5 years.
You're right, because, like, are they going to really remove Kylo Ren? Because there's going to be a new movie, there's going to be a new trilogy or whatever the case may be. There's going to be new TV shows, right? How many TV shows are there going to be?
Yeah.
Gosh, I saw, 3, 4?
Make it a couple, yeah.
Right? So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of television shows. So what happens? I mean, gosh, when are we going to see The Mandalorian? When are we going to see The Child? When are we going to see all that stuff there, right?
Good question.
Now that would be, I mean, and so here's the real question. Baby Yoda, animatronic, plush.
Well, you can already get
character actor
plush.
Like, what are we gonna?
No.
For pictures, for photos. Like, what are we gonna get?
Oh, like a Baby Groot or BB-8 style, like meet and greet. Yeah, they should do that.
Yeah, just him in the little basket. Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. I would do that.
I mean, did you guys do the Baby Groot one? Because it was pretty fantastic when they had it. It was cool.
I did not.
We got to do it. It was awesome. Did you do that one, Damon? I'm sorry.
No, I did not. No.
That was awesome. Even the BB-8 one, though, is still pretty cool.
Yeah, I like BB-8.
All right, so we're off track again. But
Yeah.
that's we're over 2 hours, though. We're not going to go 3 hours like you predicted, Damon. But
well, with the wait list, we are.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true. We've been talking.
Yeah, with the wait list, we're definitely at 3 hours.
All right. Well, anything else we want to talk about with the Rise of the Resistance opening? I mean, obviously, all three of us want to really ride it and are excited to do it. And
I'm getting tired of listening to you talk, Tom. We have to finish this up soon.
I'm tired of listening to myself talk. Frankly,
Yeah,
we only have one more thing though. We have new Disney patents.
Yeah, it's the last thing.
So boring.
Okay. So
I only want to talk about the first one.
Oh, I only want to talk about the second one. That's interesting.
That's amazing. So the first one is a new Disney patent would allow costume characters to see without.
This is the one you want to talk about, Trevor?
Yeah.
There's a lot of applications for this. So
yeah, the whole idea of the patent is that you can characters or vehicles that, normally would have a bunch of stuff limiting the field of view. They're going to have technology where the person driving it inside actually has a full proper field of view. So obviously using cameras and stuff so they can see, either outside of the costume that they're in or outside of the vehicle that they're driving so that they don't, they don't have blind spots like they do now that is pretty obvious.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the idea of this is doing it like in a way that's not, they always say part of the reason why they got rid of the talking Mickey is because the head was super heavy. Like, I guess that was part of the reason. And so maybe they have to do this without it being too cumbersome for the character. Or I thought it was interesting. They said that the patent could also be used for like filming movies and TV shows and stuff too. So besides just, a costume character. But in my mind, I look at both of these patents as being Star Wars hotel related or Star Wars land related, personally.
Okay. Well, so what's the second one? The audio
Damon,
visual.
you want to say the second one since you wanted to talk about it?
I guess. Let's see. So Disney's developing new interactive device that would activate audio visual effects. So the use of a directional antenna. They have the wand as in the image would send a signal to the second. And this is boring just to read. I mean, I guess it's kind of cool. So a gesture activation of a button device would allow the user to activate an effect on the intended location or target. So, I mean, are we talking about like what they do over at Harry Potter already with the wands?
Kind of seems that way.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
I mean, that's cool.
Well, so obviously if they're filing a patent for it, they're doing it in a different way than
Yes.
Universal does it, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
The blaster part about it, like a toy blaster, That's kind of cool.
See, that's what I'm thinking. That's why I'm thinking this is Star Wars related, because, you know, they put in there, I think they put in the wand into the patent to kind of throw us off the scent here. You know, like they did with that one patent for that ride where they were like, oh, it could be used for a Tarzan ride. Like everyone's clamoring for a Tarzan ride. Come on now. Right? But this
Dude, a Tarzan ride would be awesome.
It would be awesome, but I'm just saying it's not like it's a, you know, something that everybody's all, you know, Tarzan's not one of those movies that everybody like is, you know, gets really nostalgic over or whatever. But what I'm saying is here, like, I feel like this is more for like a lightsaber, like you said, a toy blaster, like things that you could maybe use on the Star Wars ship, you know, to be interactive.
Blasters would be cool. I mean, that would be awesome if everyone got a blaster when they got on.
Right? Like it's just standard issue. You walk on, it's like, here's your blaster, here's your lightsaber.
Or the Jedi get the holocron, and
that would be really kind of cool.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, if you,
so here's the question though, can they put you in jail for the whole 2 days? What if you walk onto the ship with your blaster and just shoot somebody? And then they're like, yo, you're in jail for 2 days.
Without refunding your money?
No refunds. Like, hey, you shot somebody, you're in jail. Sorry.
I don't know if it's going to be that immersive.
That would be pretty funny though.
That would be amazing if they could somehow pull that off.
Oh, people would be losing their.
Or if you're in
what would
jail.
happen is they'd end up in real jail because they would just totally while out.
I spent $5,000 for 2 nights here, and you stuck me in jail.
Well, but then you know they sent you to jail, but then you know you get broken out by the Resistance. How amazing would that be?
Well, you just shot somebody. The dark side would be the ones breaking you out, wouldn't they?
Well, maybe, or unless the guy you shot was First Order. I mean,
yeah. What if you shot a stormtrooper and then you know they're locking you up?
Yeah, I don't know.
Resistance is okay with shooting people.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
it's true. But you know, I find that I was almost thinking of it as like, remember we saw the oh gosh, I forget what it's called, but like the room, the training room with the lightsaber, you know,
the dojo.
Yeah, the dojo. Yeah, maybe this is related to that. That's kind of what I thought immediately when I read this.
Could be.
But, you know, and then I could also see it too, though. I mean, maybe the character of Kylo Ren that's going to be on the ship is, you know, maybe he can't really see well out of that mask, and they need to make it a little bit easier to see out of that thing.
So he doesn't, you know, have kids hitting him in the shins with lightsabers?
I mean, that's going to happen no matter what, right?
Yeah.
No, they're going to go to jail.
The kids go to jail too.
Kids go to jail too. Yeah, your 7-year-old. Sorry, dude, you're in jail for 2 days. Your parents will come by to visit you every few hours.
Mommy loves you, sweetie, but you shouldn't have hit him.
Yeah. That's really funny. I don't know. I think these are interesting. I think the idea of characters being able to see better can lead to better interactions, and maybe even, you know, just in general lead to better character costumes, right? It's never fun when you're looking at a character and you're like, oh, I can see the screen where they're looking out from, you know?
Well, and also it's like, I find more and more now I'm watching how characters move and interact, and you can see very obviously, you know, that they're focused on one thing, and there will be somebody, you know, just out of their field of view that is, you know, trying to get their attention or doing something, and you see that they'll like pretty much, or they'll ghost that person, or it looks like they're ghosting that person when, you know, the kid's like, you know, I want to, you know, Chip, I'm over here kind of thing. So I hope that this is something that they can feasibly work into, a lot of those costumes, so that, you know, it is more interactive, and there's a bit more freedom of movement to the characters, I think, is the end result.
And maybe it'll lead, I'm sorry, Trevor, go ahead.
No, that was it.
I was going to say, maybe it'll lead to more, handler less, characters too, because I mean, half the reason why they have the handler is so they don't run into stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe that'll lead to more things. And of course, these are patents. Disney files patents for stuff all the time that they never end up using, or, you know, use way later down the line. So this could end up being a nothing patent and they never use it.
Yeah,
so
we'll talk about this in 2023 again, probably.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but we'll see. Anyway.
So anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap this thing up?
No, I think we're good. I think we've talked about quite a lot today.
Wait, is this officially the longest episode?
Yes, it would be. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
My goodness.
I do want to say before we wrap up, just 2019 has been a super cool year for us. This show has grown like exponentially kind of crazy this year. We were looking at some of our statistics, and this show is heard in over 23 countries, which is bananas to me. that we're heard in over 23 countries. More than 23 countries. I mean, it's really cool. And we just, I know I don't want to speak for you two, so you say whatever you want, but I just can't appreciate enough all the people that listen to us talking about Disney and just messing around like we do. And the fact that this is listened to all over the world, it's a little crazy to me.
I found it very refreshing that people actually want to get together and meet us. Like, it was really nice going to the parks and people, spending some of their time going out of their way just to kind of chat with us and my family. And I thought that was really, really nice. And I appreciate that. And, this is going to be out before the holiday. So I wish everyone a happy holiday as well from us.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the thing for me is, that the fact that, the three of us started this just as us having a common interest, and it blows my mind how well that's resonated with a larger group of people. Like I think it really speaks to the fact that you kind of think you're, well, not alone, but like you think that, nobody else is, wanting to talk about Disney as much as I do. And then you find out that there's a whole ton of people out there that are really cool and have the same interest as you. So I'm glad that we get a chance to do this. It's a pretty awesome thing to be a part of.
Yeah. And I think what's interesting, the more I got to think about some of this stuff as, you meet people, is that the fact that we all are, get along well, but all really have pretty distinct opinions on most of the topics. It's enjoyable for people to listen to, because I'm sure that everyone has the person that they kind of resonate with, and it doesn't get boring because we're not always on the, the same sort of line of thinking. And I think that's what I enjoy the most, is not speaking with people all the time that are, yeah, I agree with that. It's like, it's nice that, Tom has a very poor opinion of drones. Like, I find that interesting. So
I have a very high opinion of drones. I just think you guys need to suspend your disbelief a little bit. I mean, all right. No, but seriously, we are thankful for every single person that's hearing us speak right now, or anytime that you listen to us. It is incredibly cool to us that this is heard in so many different places. And, it's super humbling and just feels really strange. So
as long as more people would join the other group, then I'd feel a lot better.
To join the Facebook group? Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh,
no drama. We got a good group going on. Nobody's
fun
complaining
conversations
about the window clings.
Yeah. Which I do like. I'm very happy about the window clings.
We didn't talk at all about those. I didn't get mine yet, but
I'm still waiting for mine too, but Canada.
Wait, I thought you didn't get them.
Oh no, we do. I get the Disney magazines every.
You just can't get the magic bands because of the battery.
Yeah. It's the only the magic bands we don't get. I get all the newsletters and everything else.
Okay. Yeah. Again, like, I'm going to hold out on one. I'm going to put one on maybe my car, and then the other one I'm going to have to hold out for, I don't know, a new car when I get a new car at some point. Or maybe I'll put it on the fridge. I find that the de facto place for us to put all of our stuff is on the fridge. I actually took one of my DVC magnets off of one of the cars and put it on the fridge. That way, if I lose the other one, I feel a little bit better about at least having one on the fridge.
Well, I think this is a smart move by DVC, because the prevalence of those DVC magnets getting stolen is very high. So it's good to have a window cling that can't get stolen.
Yes, I would agree. My magnet is pretty roughed up, so it's kind of nice because no one, I don't think, wants it, which is good.
Just make it less desirable.
Exactly.
Mine went straight to the fridge because we don't dare put that stuff on our cars here.
Oh, that's right, because you only get one, right?
Well, no, I got two, but because of all the salt and winter and everything that goes on here, they get destroyed. So, yeah.
Gotcha.
All right. Well, now that we've done all of our sappy thank yous, maybe we should wrap this thing up, and so we can,
Well, stay tuned for the wait list, though, right? The wait list is the 22nd. Wait, is that the day I'm looking? Yeah. No, 23rd.
Yeah.
23rd. Sorry.
Yep. So the waitlist will be in between episodes. I don't know if we're going to do another episode before the end of the year. We'll figure it out, but we'll see.
We're not.
I'm going to say probably not, because I think we all have things going on with our families. So
yeah. I mean, we're going to be enjoying times with our families for the holidays, and I'm sure everybody else will be too. All of our listeners will be too.
That's why we did the waitlist.
That is why we did the waitlist. So consider this our last full podcast for the year 2019. It's been a great one. Honestly, this has been the
But
best.
don't
year
miss the
we've
wait
had,
list.
so.
That's on. Don't miss the wait list.
No, you can't miss the wait list.
And we can still talk on the Facebook group. So
That's true. See? Yeah.
Yeah. I bet we have a bunch of new listeners that have no idea what the heck we're talking about with the wait list. We never really explained it, so.
they'll find out.
They'll find out.
Yeah.
It's the sideshow.
Yep.
So, in more ways than one.
All right.
So let's wrap this thing up, Trevor.
Okay. If anyone has any questions, any comments, you just, want to talk to us, you can find us at welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com. We love getting emails from you guys. We put out questions to you guys and you always send us stuff back and super appreciate it. If you want to find us on social media, you can find us on Facebook at Welcome Home Podcast, Twitter, Welcome Home Pod, and Instagram, Welcome Home Pics. Really, Twitter and Instagram just mirror Facebook. So you'll, if you want to, follow us on Facebook, that's the best place to find us. And we, of course, have the Facebook group there as well, which is it's called the Welcome Home Waitlist right now. Is that what you call it, Damon?
I don't remember. It's got something with the wait list.
It's Welcome Home wait list, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it welcome? I think it's longer than that, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Welcome Home members or...
I took the atrocity that Tom had.
Welcome Home Disney Waitlist. That's what it's called.
Which, by the way, was the number one voted on name, Damon.
And then I just decided to change it because, the wait list and all that, which I think actually fits us better anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
I think I like it right now. Well, subject to change later, but of course you can.
Yes, exactly.
You can.
Subject to our whims.
Yeah. You can find us there. And, if you guys, like us and you want to get some merch, there is store.welcomehomepodcast.com. You can get mugs, you can get magnets, you can get, t-shirts and all kinds of cool stuff there. So
I wore t-shirts when I was in the park for 2 days, but then I had to go sweatshirt. So I realized that the next thing that Tom has to have made for us is sweatshirts.
I think we have hoodies in the store.
No, we need the special.
We need
ones.
the special ones for okay, yeah,
just for us. Yeah,
I got you. Just the exclusive
embroidered.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
okay.
embroidered.
That's right. I'm sorry, that's my fault. And who was it? Jeremy was telling us that he was walking around and people kept asking him if he was the host of the podcast. He was saying he was walking around with that shirt on. He had his whole family with the shirt on.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
My kids wouldn't even wear the hats. So. But you know what was very interesting is that I believe it was Steve's daughter, like when they gave her that, like, cause I gave him a hat and he gave it to his daughter. I think, again, I am hoping this is Steve and not one of the other people. Like, she put it on and like was super happy. Like,
nice.
There was people legitimately happy to like get the hat and wear it immediately. Like I was like told my kids, yeah, you want a hat? They're like, no, no. Okay.
We make people happy with our hats.
Yeah. So my Christmas order, Tom, is sweatshirts and like beanies, like knit beanies for like when you're there when it's cold.
All right.
We got the warm weather covered, but I think we need that for ourselves when we go next time. Cause I went a lot of sweatshirt, when it's like 60 degrees at night and, I couldn't welcome home it at that point.
All right. We'll get that done. We'll make it happen.
Yeah. We'll have to, we'll do some brainstorming on that, I think.
There you go.
See what else we can do.
And of course, don't forget to subscribe to Welcome Home Podcast so you can be reminded every time we release a new episode. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify. Anywhere you can find podcasts, you can find us. Just search for Welcome Home. Look for the one that says Disney and DVC, not the other imposters out there that, stole our name and use it in the
No, we're going to have them on the show. Don't be mean to them. They're going to come on the show.
You already reached out to them?
No. I'm just saying, I'm going to talk to them and we're going to do a show with them.
Oh man. I hope everybody listens all the way to the end of this podcast because we never get through the ending without some other nonsense that we talk about.
Of course.
Yeah, it's the way to do it. A reminder, as always, to our listeners, Welcome Home Podcast is for entertainment only. We are not employed by the Walt Disney Company, and as such, any and all opinions we express on the show are our own. So please contact a DVC representative, a Disney cast member, for more information about anything we talked about today. Huge thank you, as always, to DVC Resale Market for sponsoring this show. They are our friends and our partners that have been here since day one with us, and so we appreciate that. We love those guys. So please, support the people that support us. Of course, join us next time for more Disney Parks discussion, more DVC talk. We will see you all in 2020.
This is Skipper Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, signing off from Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
We do a huddle. when we hit a chair. How she can cuddle is no man's affair. I looked around from pole to pole, found her in a sugar bowl.